Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be the upper bracket semifinals of the Indian Championship Series presented to you by Zutsu Gaming and powered by AOC Gaming. So, tonight we have four amazing teams who will be fighting for a spot for the upper bracket grand finals. Because if we were in place of them, we would never want to go down to the lower brackets because that place is a battlefield right now. And to cast the first game, this will be me, Sarah, onto the desk alongside Debbie. So, hello, Debbie.
Yep. Hello, Sarah. We are excited to see that. This first best of three series is definitely going to be important here because we have two big teams that will be coming today, and of course they are onto the Mythic Leaderboards as well. And we have EVT and CRQ for the best of three series, and I'm pretty excited because these are two teams that have been playing together for a long time, and then they have been players of the same team as well. So now that we think about it, they are going to be playing against each other. So that is kind of cinematic to say the least. So I'm pretty sure they will be understanding how the style is gonna be, how their play style is gonna be, and of course the new addition into the CIQ also creates a lot of potential for them. So I'm pretty much sure that they will be able to have a good read onto the side of EVT too. But you know what? We might eventually have another 15-20 minute games again because it's EVT after all.
That's what. And according to sources, as far as what we know, CRQ as well as Core Cutie from EVT, they are at an event right now
Yep.
together. Who knows, they might be even playing from the very same room. So technically enough, they know what each other is going to do, and they also know what is going to be coming their way the moment they step into the draft. And that is exactly what we will be moving forward to once the players are all set and ready. And
Mhm.
I cannot stress this more that EVT, they love their brawly compositions. We have seen it through and through
Mm.
for almost a year now. But CRQ are more of a pickoff based draft lovers. They love
Mhm.
that Harley pick. They love the Kalia along with the Lunox. They also love the Kalia and the Yusun Shin. And I think that is going to be a major game changing factor for either of these. Who outdrafts whom? That's exactly what we'll be seeing.
Yep, let's see though. And one thing for sure is that the mid laners here, right? Faden and Sindhu, they have been a first shot fanatic for a long time. So we are bound to see either a first shot ban or a pick, and it should be a contested, I presume. So let's see who will be getting out the first shot. But if we talk about Yahiko and CRQ, of course, the Fanny ban is a must. You don't want to let go of Yahiko Fanny, and of course, it can also almost has to be the first ban. But looking at the red side though, Zushin is gonna be banned. The way the first two bans are always gonna be meta into the red side. Onto the blue side, it usually is gonna be a target ban. So we can see that they don't want to let go of the Jushin no matter what the choices is gonna be, as well the same reason for the Fanny too. So what else can they ban here? Because Grok, Kalea, Hilda still all available.
That's exactly what. And they also take out the Alice. Somehow EVT has been focusing that
Oh,
Alice for obvious
true,
reasons,
true,
I
true.
would say. But then again, Alice is not that ban-worthy. They have played
Mm-hmm.
against an Alice so many times. By now, they should be well acquainted with what they can pick up to counter that hero. But somehow, they do not want to risk it. They do not want to give it to 27 at all costs. Crux Requiem,
Mm-hmm.
meanwhile, they will of course be taking out something like the Grok or the Hilda up next. They would not want to give that hero away to Rudius. Even if they do give away the Grok, they definitely cannot give away something like maybe Julius's Lancelot or Crisis's Freya. Yeah, there we go. That's gonna be the Freya, all right. And right now, I think only the Roam bands are what remain.
Freya, I mean, we also mentioned that elusivity onto the blue side, the first two bans should be a respect ban, right? And I think they are showing so much respect onto the Elise just because of the potential setup that she usually is able to provide to. And the thing about the pick that they could have into the XP lane is that if Corey QT is busy on the map, if he is available in all places, the game goes so much smoother for the side of elusivity here. So I think they want to have a winning XP lane here, especially against 27. So this is very understandable. And now you talked about it, the roam ban should be a must here for the side of CRQ. What do they want to remove? Because Zetian already taken away, and now for CRQ, it's gonna be the decider. I think they shouldn't ban anything at all at this point. They can just contest it. Open all the heroes that are into the room, right? And try to get a trade out. Whatever elusivity don't take, they can take it out. So this can be an option here.
I mean, that's exactly what you ban away technically the Basia, the Freya, the Jushin, well and good, but then you are giving away the Yesunshin. That is one of the very versatile junglers, I would say, can also be flexed into the goal lane right now. So technically enough, Elusivity can still pick up onto the Lancelot towards their jungle. Crux Requiem needs to
Mm.
find a way to counter that. They might want to go in for the Kalia, the carry combo together with them for themselves, or they might want to pick up their EXP first, and maybe that Sora, of course, going to be a flex, going to be locked in by them, and the mid lane will be a Farsa for now.
Yep. I was really damn sure that whoever gets that, the second phase, they will be getting out the first side. Now, Senju and Faden both play a mean first side onto the hand, so this was gonna be a most priority pick into the mid side here. And it's gonna be so much better for the side of CRQ here because they already showed all their cards. They already showed the Yi Sun Sin here, and Yi Sun Sin is weak against this kind of bursty mage. So very good rate coming through from the side of CRQ here. Now that they pick away the Sora, it usually goes into the hands of 27, but if Gonigon is able to play it too, it's definitely no problem. Now we can see the picks coming through. Oh my god, I don't like Hori Guilty on heroes like this, man. Uranus and Grok, it's a very, very solid pick, like solid, you know, combination. But, you want him on a hero that is a good setter rather than just being, yeah, a bruiser. I think it's like, yeah, maybe they want to have a good game plan here, so I'm not complaining. But for CRQ though, what can they go for here?
I mean, they definitely do not want to hurry into this kind of a draft. Yisun Shin can still be a goal laner, we never know.
Mm.
Yep, of course. With the Sora, a Guinevere is a very staple standard pick, works with the Surge Ultimate every single time. One ult, one knockup, one Violet Requiem, and the Farsa would be able to combo it out with their Strike Blasts pretty well. Elusivity, on the other hand, I think they need to ban out on maybe the Kalia here. That is going to be a very good choice for Crux Requiem, but CRQ, what can they ban? They can still take out on the Lancelot if they want to.
Mm.
They can take out on the
Mm.
Joy for the jungle, yet still. And what else? The jungle picks are going to be so very limited now. The Guinevere and the Yisun have been already locked in. So we'll see what they decide to do.
Yep. The thing about Crisis is that I've never seen him on the Yushinshin, so I'm pretty sure it should be into the hands of Julius rather than Crisis. I'm not sure they'll be able to play it right, but the Valentina ban out, it was kind of surprising that Elusivity did not pick out the Valentina to the mid side, but I also know that Senju does not really want to play out the Valentina most of the time. He usually is a bursty kind of mage user, so they can try to let it go of that. And now it's going to be a little bit hard to handle out the Sora unless they have a full base onto their side. But looking at the draft so far, the Uranus look like it's going to be into the hands of Corey Cutie, so that is going to be another option. There's no another option that they could go for here. So carry banned away by elusivity. They kind of read that out. Coach requirement wanted to go for a bit of a marksman here, so they can actually be the one banning away the Cloud as well. So for sure, kill. Do they want to remove another mage or do they keep it?
I mean, they could technically what? The Kimi? They could take away the Kimi if they
Yeah.
wanted to here. But since they already have the Yisun Shin, EVT might want to tend towards the Lunox a little bit more. But hey, is that a Kimmy? Ah, it is a Kimmy, of course. You do not want to give Shenzhou his Kimmy. And
Mm.
then Gonigon's Carry and Claude, they will be taken out as well.
Oh.
Pretty obvious choice. That's like really, really obvious into this draft. They have got a double fighter. The next thing they want would quite possibly be that gold laner, which is a pure marksman. Crux Requiem, though, they can definitely go in for something like the CC here, or even the Lapu Lapu or
Yeah.
Esme if they wanted to, because Uranus Grok both get countered by the Esmeralda. They've got enough of range coming in from the Farsa, as well as the Sora, in a way, once he gets the Thunder Lightning form. But hey, it's going to be a CC, alright.
Mm. CC was the most valid choice we could see here because of the lack of the presence of the marksman now. But I'm kind of unsure if Syracuse is ready to play in this kind of draft because they are not gonna be having that much of a scaling hero. They should be dependent on the damage output coming through from the Farsa or wide. And Faden plays a good carry too. So I mean carry as in having the most damage. So it can be a possibility that they wanna put all in onto this Farsa here. But for elusivity now, the mage is definitely gonna be harder here because even if you go for the Eve, the Farsa is gonna be outranging quite a lot, and there's still chances for Gatot to come through here for the side of Crooks Requiem too. Because we never know what is gonna be coming here. But they still went for it. Okay, there we go. It's gonna be Crisis onto the Harris rather than the Yishin and the Eve still. And I feel like the Eve is kind of a forced pick here for elusivity because they don't have any other options for the what kind of mates that they could go for here. So last pick coming to a Crystal Camp, this is gonna be the Khalid. A direct counter for the Grok, which is kind of good here, but I would prefer, the Gatot. Not gonna lie, but I think it's just because of the presence of the Harris that he just wanted to go for the Khalid already.
I mean, Crux Requiem, technically, they have a little bit of the better draft in terms of team fight this time around, but EBT, they've got their comfort in the jungle as well as goal lanes. So they will definitely be having the better scaling of the two teams. CC, she definitely scales well, but against a Harriet, you cannot burst down a Harriet with a CC or a Sora into the late game because he's going to keep regenning those shields every single time he dashes using the demand force. So CRQ needs to watch out and not let the game, go ahead of the 12-minute, 30-minute mark. But other than that, welcome to the land of Dawn, ladies and gentlemen. Two amazing teams, two amazing drafts, and now we will be witnessing the upper bracket semis best of three game one.
Game number one, here we go. Let's see so far. Into the mid side, the presence is definitely gonna be big here. Look at the radar. It's just gonna be taunted. I mean, he's gonna be getting poked a little bit here and there. But onto the mid side, when you focus onto the Khalid and the Farsa together, they will be actually the one who have the better clearance in comparison to the Grok and the Eve. So they have to be very decisive of where they are gonna be starting and using that good clearance potential that they have and try to disrupt onto the jungle as much as possible. A radar flicker.
That's gonna be a very early flicker, but at least he survived. So that's gonna be
Oh.
27 actually steals it away. He's gonna hit that level 4 much before even possibly the Yisun Shin at the 30. So good advantage for CRQ with that, but Faden is getting hard pulled. His lanes are getting countered and he might as well have to flicker out, but manages to use up the region successfully. So technically he will be able to save that flicker for the first turn in the game. Yahiko is yet to, he's gonna hit it right away, and so will Julius. So both the junglers are at their level 4s, and Simpson has the mana shopper now, can move in for a possible engage onto the mid side, but Chenzu needs to be careful of Yahiko being there in the bushes.
Yeah, you go into the early stage of the game, the Guinevere is kind of very squishy, but then when he is able to get Lena onto the spatial migration and get the Violet Requiem on, he have enough damage to take anyone down. Look at the jump though, Cory. He's got to be careful.
No matter how careful you are, that early game burst from the Thunder form, as well as Yahiko Violet Requiem, they are going to suffer this one. Arik gets Julius though
Wow.
meanwhile, and another Violet Requiem comes in from Yahiko, and Faden will be securing that kill. That's going to be an early invade into the blue buff. Corey Cutie not yet level 4. Major disadvantage for EVT right here. They might be suffering, but Array gonna be caught out very low, but technically enough, they managed to secure that blue buff and will be able to take it back to life.
The way they were actually targeting onto Korikute into the start of that game when they were trying to go for the turtle fight was definitely on point here, because when he is really healthy, they will not be able to contest onto it. He's going to be very, very disruptive onto their composition too, and they understand it so well. Going all in onto the early game Uranus is a bit, it's like it's valuable here because they do have burst teammates. The first side kind of does well against the Uranus too, so I think they understand it too, and then they were just trying to go delete him out and get that objective in, and of course they were able to steal out onto the blue buff as well. Yahiko, he's always been found in the opponent jungle no matter what kind of heroes he's onto, so this is going to be giving them a very, very comfortable 8-0-3 is the score already, and 1k goal lead into the hands of CRQ.
Right now, we can see the goal lead, definitely 1.3k in favor of CRQ already. Good early lead for them, but so far, Crisis has not been taken down even once. In a head-to-head goal battle between the two goal laners, I feel like Crisis might be slightly ahead of Gonigon right here, except for that CC having the turtle advantage onto him. But other than that, the Harriet might just be able to play that better. Oh no, but Corey Cutie again gonna be caught out into that fight. But at Purify will not be able to save him from the wrath of that Thunderform. And 27 still fighting it out.
What?
The damage gets it up along to Julius. Array is gonna finish off Rudius. Meanwhile, Shenzu, the positioning is so on to that fight. He will fall down to CRQ, get a 4 for null trade, as well as the turtle into their favor.
The turtle again, 2 kills again into the favor for the side of CRQ, and if you have noticed, the rotation is up on top. They are focusing more on giving a lot of goal into the hands of 27 rather than the bot lane side. Again, Corey!
He is getting pressured a little too much from that Sora and Guinevere, and I think that's why the EXP rotation from the junglers matters so much into games like these. Like, you know that the jungler, when it's a jungler, something like a Yisun Shin and then a Harriet, they are going to focus the goal lane all in all. But afraid, no. Every single Grok user in the past week has missed out on their tech charges, but this has to be one of the bigger ones. Oh, but Faded with the flicker shows why that Farsa is usually banned out. Mid lane tier 1 will fall prey to the hands of CRQ. EVT, they gave away a wipeout as early as the 5-minute mark of the game, and that is not looking good for them yet.
Bad for the side of elusivity now, and Julius being dead all the time among all of those. I think it's definitely not gonna be the best case scenario as a Yisun 03 to rise the score, and I mean he is his KDA and he doesn't really have the farm. He's just level 7 to a level 10 Yahiko already, and this is a Guinevere we are talking about. Guinevere, he is ahead onto the goal as well as the level, and you can't catch up to this if you are not getting out the farms here, and we can see into the build as well. Hunter Strike only built away and they are weak onto the goal as well, and now I think for Yahiko, he can actually go for the brute force too, but he might eventually go for the wings first and then go for the ice. That will eventually be a good start for their side. Meanwhile, for Faden, he have the anti heal already a little bit ahead of Senju. That is also why he was hitting much more than usual onto the first side, and the fact that he was able to get Senju again and again before because of the outranged potential that he have onto the feather airstrikes. Why I hated the Eve here.
Exactly what he will be so caught out, and no matter how hard he tries to position, there's going to be Faden who uses up the airstrike onto him. There's going to be the Sora, the Kali, the Guinevere jumping all on him every single time. And 27, despite him using the Thunder form every so often, he's so fearless onto that Sora. It kind of saves the amount of confidence that CRQ has. Another RWM, another tech charge missed. Rudius gets taken down. Array still zoning people away. 27 goes in for the flicker, goes in for the double right there, finds 2 and will get back out safely. Corey Cutie kind of just caught out all by himself with nobody to frontline for, and Crisis, despite being a 0-1-0, they have absolutely no farm to make up for. Another Violet Requiem, Purify. Sora will be using up the Thunder form, but yeah, he does not get all the stacks he would have wanted, and technically they will just be backing off.
Every goal has been into the favor of the side of CRQ. Right now, they have 10k gold into their hands, and mostly it might be into the hands of 27 too, because he's been everywhere all over the places, and they were able to win out onto the top lane side, which is the XP, and it make it easier for him to rotate out too, and that is not the best case scenario for the side of Elusivity Esports here. Onto the other side for the airstrike.
Gonna be a very big engage coming in. Yaiko gets a double knock-up with the spatial migration as well as the Violet Requiem, keeping them in the air for so long. And right now, EVT at 0, Crux Requiem at 17 massive kills. The goal lead, 9,000 in their favor, and the Lord coming up in 30 seconds. Right now, right here, all EVT needs is a miracle, and I'm telling you, that miracle is not something small to come by.
Yeah, it has to be someone from the side of CRQ who should be the one drawing the game. Unless they don't do that, I don't see any ways for Elusivity to have that much of a comeback right now, because Crisis, even though he is behind onto the goal, he needs a bit more farm. He have only the Stylum side, yet he's needing like 2 or 3 items more to try to hit out the damages output that he needed. But bottom lane though,
Yep, that's gonna be going on. Taking down Crisis immediately. The Spatial Migration and the Violet Requiem combo every single time manages to catch more than 1 and 27. Just frontlining it all this time with the Surge Ultimate and the CC melting down on Uranus. That's the farm gap that CRQ has managed to maintain is tight. I don't know, I mean, hey, half their players are at a LAN, half their players at the camp possibly, if I'm not wrong.
yeah.
And they are so like divided right now, and they managed to pull off something like this. EVD really needs to think this through what they want to do from this moment on, but that's a 1v1
no.
and CC is winning it out. But the airstrike zone people away, and even an Uranus is getting melted down with the amount of damage that Phaeton is dealing right now.
Yeah, this is the way you try to counter under the Uranus, try to focus onto him into the early stages of the game, make him impossible to have the tankiness and the sustains that he's needed, and just try to shove him into that lane. And now it's completely useless for the side of Elusivity here. Corey is unable to do anything here, but look at the jump.
Yep, that's gonna be Array taking down a killing spree onto Corey Cutie. The Feather Airstrike Blast hitting Crisis way too hard. Those were just 2 blasts, I'm telling you, and the passive. 2 blasts and a passive, and he was nearly gonna get taken down almost if he did not have that dash right there. Julius at the 0-5-0 on that Ascension. It's either a bad day he's having, or CRQ is just way too dominant into this game.
I feel like the dominance coming through from CIQ has to do with the farming pattern coming through from Yahiko into the start of the game, where he was able to steal out onto the buff here. They get the turtle, they get kills again and again. This is the way to try to, you know, use your early game advantage, and he was able to pull it so well that the goal lead is so much harder for the side of Elusivity to have to come back. Oh, look at the Feather Airstrike already hurting them a lot, especially for Julius as well as Crisis. They cannot play around that Feather Airstrike no more. They have to defend to the top lane here. Even so, they do have a good scaling hero, but they are unable to get out onto this goal here, and this is the way for CRQ to have that plan. They just don't want to go for the late game.
Exactly what. No late game, and 27 this time, stunning 3 people inside their own base. And the rest are gonna be coming in as well. Shenzo barely makes it out alive. Julius takes a hit and is gonna be caught out very, very low. But here, CRQ have the waves coming in from the mid lane all over again. The zone is going to be insane for Yahiko! The man, the myth, the legend, gets 2 people. That's gonna be him right in the base of Winter Trunkin play, as well as the Violet Requiem. Julius and Shenzu get taken down. Ray will sacrifice his life. Crisis trying to dodge all of it, but he can't. He doesn't have the flicker. And the Feather Airstrike will take him down, and the damage is going to be coming in from the Thunder form of the ultimate as well. But here, Team Crux Requiem have full access to the base. CC melting down Corey Cutie. The base is all theirs if they choose to push in.
They might eventually decide to go for that. That's going to be a miss onto the jump here. Not much of a pressure created by the side of CIQ just yet, but they have took what they wanted there. They took out 3 turrets already. The inhibitors are all gone. The base is completely wide open, and there's so much of a weak itemization coming through from the side of elusivity already because they don't have the right amount of gold that can help them go through all the perks. They were going fully all in to go for the later part of the game, but they are unable to do so. Why? Because Corey QD has been consistently taken down by the side of CIQ. They have been way focused onto him. He is going to be the sole frontliner that we have seen so far, but he's unable to do so because he's going to be always melted down. And when your frontline is melted down, the backline is always going to be in trouble here. And the fact that CIQ have a good range hero is saying a lot right now because even if Corey is able to try to go for those zone potentials, he is not able to sustain it out. And the fact that Faden is always going to be focusing onto the backlines most of the time, especially Shenju in Crisis, that is not the best case scenario for the side of CRQ, for elusivity already. And now Law will be merging to the mid side, even though it's not an evolved form yet. There can be a possibility that Yahiko might land a good jump and they can end the game.
So, and somehow we know Yahiko for his Fanny, but the way he has been performing on that Guinevere in the recent seasons is absolutely insane. Oh, and there we go. That's gonna be another engage coming in. Doesn't really get the knock upon to anybody, but CC will be there to finish it off. The back line, the base is gonna be open again, and now he gets the jump again. Will use the Wind Trunking to save himself with the turret damage. The amount of damage he's dealing on a tank build is surprisingly high. But hey, let's just say that the setups coming in from Yahiko and the damage from the backup from the Farsa and the CC just absolutely insane in this game.
It was there was a very perfect combination coming through from the side of CRQ already. They know that whoever go for the initiation, the feather strike is always gonna be available. But funnily enough, it's not usually Doom or 27 who go for those kind of sets. It's usually Yahiko. Because of course it is a Guinevere who is already well farmed. He's not gonna be dying that easily. And he have also the Winter Truncheon already where he can use with the knockup, and we can see how much of a good send he's been able to provide for the team. And the follow-up always, almost all the time, being coming through into the hands of Faden. That was a good call, a good synergy coming through for their side too, and they were always able to end out, kill, obliterate the one who he have a good jumped upon and elusivity. They don't have any kind of tankiness. Their early game got messed up really, really bad here, especially on a hero like the Yi Sun. You don't even want to lose even one of your creep. And Julius, he wasn't having the best time of his life in this game.
Definitely not, because I think that Doom had to play a major role into this game. Like, the way he zoned people out and the way they created pressure onto Corey onto the EXP, it's just so astonishing because I know that EVT tried their best to provide the backup, but if you look at this fight, like the amount
Yeah.
of outplay that 27 just played onto that Yisun Shin
Mm-hmm.
as well as that rest of the people dodging that
Oh,
stun and these mistakes coming in from Rudius onto that Grok. It's technically
yeah.
every Grok user right now who has been making the same
Yeah,
mistake with
yeah.
the flicker and the ultimate, so we can't really blame him on that. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that the draft was not the issue, it was the execution. CRQ did it
Mm.
double the bet, like twice better than what EET did, and they just managed to win it out so very easily.
I feel like, it would have been safer to go for a bit of a utility into the hands of Crisis rather than the Harris because they
Exactly.
already have the Yisun. But yeah,
That's
there was a lot of people they were trying to protect, right? And the fact that Corey Cutie hasn't been able to do anything because of the lack of itemization, which means the lack of sustain, he have became a non-factor here. He's always been marked down, like getting taken down. Oh, look at this beautiful jump coming through from Yahiko, man. And he lived. He lives here. He did not even die. He dashed away like he did not commit a beautiful crime there. But I feel like it
exactly.
was amazing synergy coming through from the side of CRQ here. The damage output were already in. And you know what? This time around, Senju, he might have EVT. They should try to contest onto the first side. Either they have to ban it or put it into the hands of Senju because
Exactly.
they are equally good, man. Oh,
mean,
MVP.
I mean, this is like undoubtedly, unarguably, one of the best Guinevere gameplays I have seen in
Yep, yep,
tournaments. But hey, he deserves that 22%
yep.
damage dealt, 18% taken, and nearly a 90% teamfight participation. That speaks volumes. And of course,
Hmm.
as much as we can see for now, uh, these people are just absolutely insane right now. 28 kills versus 2 kills. 2
Yep.
in a nearly 15-minute game. That is kind of messed up, and EBT needs to come back from this.
We need to find that EVT style. Of course, we know that they love to go for the brawl, they love to go for the late game. But yeah, of course you want to do that, like find a good composition that will help you do that. And I feel like that Eve pick was so forced. I mean, it's good. It's good of a hero pick, but it kind of got forced so much that there's no way that you'll be seeing or having a peaceful RWM2. There's always a dive that can come to into the backlines and always a damage coming through from Faden onto the first side too. And Senju, when he is not active on the map, like when he did not get his early game, EVD doesn't really have a good game for those days. So the targeting that they did onto the mates was perfectly on point here for the side of CRQ. So let's see for game number 2 though. CRQ, they have the first pick now. Both have their server preference. They are in the same server, so there's no way we'll be using that. So elusivity, they need to draft it properly this time around. CRQ though, what do they want to remove? They are on the blue side here.
I mean, just remove the irritating rumors, take away, let's just say, take away Julius's Lance, take away Crisis's Freya, or take away Shenzu's Kimi. That's a staple thing that works. But hey, they decide to take out the Baxia and the CC. I mean, they do
Okay.
not want to give Crisis the CC either. He is just
True,
really
true,
good
true.
at that, as well as the Yi Sun Shin. Elusivity themselves will take out the Freya here, and with the Eason Shin gone, I feel like the Grok or Kalia might be a good first pick. It could work out for them. They could also try and go in for the Farsa, just give Faden his comfort, win that mid
Yep.
lane matchup. Or, worst case scenario, go in for something like the Esmeralda EXP first pick. So we'll see how it works out for either of these teams. And Fanny Man, of course, respect man to Jamaica.
Uh,
Do not want to give away of 8K Bill Fanny user his Fanny.
Bro, this is the problem with Fanny users, right? It's a must ban. They already acquired the ban here, so they can draft so much better because the one ban is already gone, and it's like undoubtedly like 4 bans already left. So yeah, Kosuke will be abusing this power that they have now. Sora will be the first pick here. Elusivity though, okay, a direct pick that they wanna counter the Farsa with at Zetian here together with Hilda. So they are kind of forcing Faden to play out the Farsa against this hero, but I don't think he should be falling for it though. Zetian clearance is good, very, very amazing into the mid side. The Eve might eventually struggle with the 2 picks that the side of Elusivity already have, and Rudius, a bit of a comfort for him too. There's a lot of damage already into the mid side and utility onto the mage hands. So now CIQ. What can they prioritize here? They have the Sora already. It should be going into the hands of 27 again. I have no doubts about it. But against the Hilda, do you want a Grok?
I personally wouldn't want to because yeah, the Hilda can just melt you away before a team fight even begins, and that is not the best of situations to be in as a frontliner. CRQ
Mhm.
though, they decide to answer it with the Sora Gold Alice EXP combination all over again. And
Oh,
Alice can very well lock down that Zacian into the backline while not taking any damage herself, because technically enough Zacian has very minimal damage into the early game.
yep.
But this time around, I feel like Elisabeth will definitely be banning away that Farsa right into the first ban of the second banning phase. Because, yeah, even if you have a Zacian, she's got like a 60-second ultimate cooldown.
Yeah, yeah, true,
And
true, true.
Farsa is barely at a 25-second in the early game. So that's gonna be a very difficult mid lane matchup. But hey, if you notice, it's a Corey Cutie signature combos into the EXP against the Alice, so Elucidating will definitely be winning away that lane.
Wow, I did not expect the Tammuz to come this early on, but this is what they usually do when they enter the red side. So let's trust him that with that. And elusivity though, I feel like they are setting up a trap to let CIQ pick the first shot. But I wouldn't mind if they ban it away because the Hilda can handle it. But with the purifies or the flickers and the wing by wings, the Farsa usually have a lot of survival chances. So they don't wanna take any risks here. They can ban it away if they wanted to. But the thing is, they shouldn't. They do have chances to pick out marksmen here, right? But CRQ, they will. I feel like they should be banning out those two marksmen that's been already good. So Kimmy gone. I don't think Faden's that much of a good Kimmy player, but it's a respect man, I would say.
Exactly so. And right now, Kimmy, of course, taken away. What else can you really take away here? The joy gets taken away. The Lancelot quite possibly gets taken down. What else is really
Hmm.
left out here? Joy, Lancelot, Lee Sun Shin, take away
I feel like,
Hayabusa,
oh
Suyo,
yeah,
everything.
Haya.
All that works. Maybe even take away the Guinevere if you want to. But yeah, the
Oh yeah,
Guinevere
yeah,
is
yeah,
still open.
Guinevere.
That's a pretty
Uh,
good choice. But let's see though. The question is, what does EVT ban? Do they take out the Lunox as their last ban? Do they take away? Oh, they actually give away the
Oh
Farsa.
yeah, I feel like they're just setting up for the first out here, because of
Wow.
the Hilda and the Zichen. But then again, it kind of comes down to the skill set and the calls, right? Like he will be very free for a bit, and then that is enough for a first to play around with. So now that they have the Elise, they don't mind letting go of the Claude. That also is a good thing here for the side of Kirk's Requiem. They can, for elusivity, if they want to bite the bullet, they can play out the Claude here. Just kind of play it safe to have a good lane into the early stages, go for the fights into the later part of the game. Because I feel like they still need damage, right? Either magic damage or physical damage. If Crisis, like, no. If Julius wants his Lancelot, I wouldn't mind it actually, because it's been a long time that he's been seen on the comfort, and the Yi Sun did not really work out. The Buckshot is always gonna be banned. But like you said, the Guinevere can come through here and they can take a marksman. Okay, they still go for the marksman. And I feel like Crookswickham are setting this up so badly for the marksman here, for the Claude here. This is the reason why they did not ban it away. So the mates though, Crookswickham, do they wanna go for the Farsa or a completely different hero, like the Lunox?
Yep, and that's exactly it. The Lunox would actually be a pretty good choice here, but I mean, it's Faden. And if
Yeah,
Faden wants,
Faden.
he can play the Farsa into any kind of draft. And here, it works. If they can burst out the Claude early on with the stuns and the Felidae strike, I think that the Farsa would be a pretty good choice if he can just
That's what.
position well. And Faden's positioning on the Farsa is very commendable.
Yeah, yeah.
CRQ though, that is their
Mm,
okay. Hylos
safer
and
choice.
Lunox, safer choice. They just want to play it safe, not
Mm.
give away any risk to the side of elucidity. While EVT for their last pick, that's going to be the jungle, can go in for the Lancelot here if they want to. It's a Bengal server game, that's not going to be
Oh,
any
there we
issues.
go.
But hey, it's the Guinevere we were talking about.
They are just picking out the safer choices, man. And the fact that, we we were talking about the Farsa rather than the Lunox here is because Kirkstream, even though they don't have killing hero, if they have the early game, they usually does really well. So they don't need to go for the late game most of the time. So this is why we kind of prefer the Farsa. But against this come, I think they are just setting up for the Farsa to come through, and they did not fall for it. And the Lunox is much of a safer choice. And the fact that the Lunox can actually have more damage than the Claude when it goes in a 1v1 situation, this is already a good setup coming to from the side of CIQ. They did really, really well into the draft. But it's gonna be into the hands of the Guinevere, right? Julius, if he is able to get out onto that early game, not let the game go through like that free into the hands of Yahiko like it did into that first game, because that was hard to watch. And Guinevere being farming on your, he's farming on your creeps and you cannot really do anything about it. Yeah, not anymore, please.
And with that, welcome to the land of Dawn, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be CRQ with CBT Game 2, upper bracket semis, best of 3, and CRQ stands at match point. Very well enough, if they win this game, they are going to the grand finals already. And if CRQ wants to avoid facing the absolute land demons waiting for them into the lower bracket, they need to find a way to go in for that tiebreaker into the third game. But let's see what happens right now, because this is just gonna be the first minute of the game, and aggression will already be coming in from the side of CR2. Oh no!
Aiden. Yep, uncharacteristic of Aiden to be caught out there. Against a healer, you might have to be very careful. Of course, you are a Lunas who have a resource survival, but that starts only at level 4, my dude. You cannot really do that, and he did not use out the flicker. You know, this guy rather wants to die, he wants to die rather than waste out onto the flicker most of the time, so that might just bite him in the back most of the time. But Rudius, though, able to give a little bit of vision here and there, a winning goal lane into the hands of Crisis too, because of the Cloud, of course. He's going to be having the better range in comparison to Gonigon onto the Sora here. Rudius, I think Doom is doing a really good job in trying to drone them away, right? If the Hylos wasn't here, I think Gonigon could have been dived upon.
Will be low before the turtle, but I do not see any kind of contest coming in from the side of Crunch Requiem. They are just going to be ignoring it. Again, the Violet Requiem is going to come in from Julius this time. But oh, hey, 27 almost made it out alive, but now Rudius has to flicker out of that situation. And Elusivity, they choose not to invade. This is something CRQ did in the previous game. They won the turtle fight, they invaded and got that lead. So EVT didn't exactly do that here.
Finally showing some signs of life here for the side of Elusivity. They are looking like Elusivity that we know. But onto the bottom lane side, I think Crisis got taken down when he was trying to go for a little bit of aggression onto Gonigon. Yeah, that was a good rotation coming through from the side of CRQ, especially into the hands of Doom here. But now he got the lead onto the goal that he's needed here because of the turtle that they take down. And Rudius being so aggressive, he wasted out onto the ultimate here from Gonigon. But it's still gonna be fine because there's still time for the turtle to come through, and I don't think Gonigon will be rotating out that early on either. Onto the XP lane here against the Elise, the Samus is definitely going to be winning out onto the lane here. So looking at the lanes so far, I think Crux Crime, they are losing on both lanes, especially into the mid side too. They need the level 4 power spike to come through from the side of Aiden here. They need to have these items and get out the damages done so that they will be able to put one down from the side of Elusivity before they start for the team fights.
I mean, late game is definitely a hope for the side of CRQ, because that Lunox can technically just burst down the Claude with 2 bursts from the Chaos Assault. But the amount of pressure being created on the EXP once again this game around, it's kind of a deja vu of the first game, but this time it's EBT taking the lead. The kills and gold are pretty much equal, EBT having a 1k in their favor, but CRQ can recover that. But the major factor remains Crisis. He has that late game potential which nobody in either of the teams have. So it's going, end of the day, it's going to be a Lunox versus Claude showdown on the late game. Yep, but look at that, the turtle fight is gonna come in. Julius will be securing it right away. The Fury of the Phoenix is gonna stun people down in their places. Alice gets an amazing setup on the 3 people with Throne of Ruin, but he's gonna be caught out all alone. Violet Requiem comes in with the passive. 27 will fall. And Crux Requiem will be on the back foot for now. Gonigon takes down a Julius on the mid side, but Crisis, already dealing quite some amount of damage with the Blazing Duet, will find his way back to his lane, but instead they decide to pressure the mid side because it's nearly 5 minutes and the turret shields are gonna fall anytime soon. And that's the point of it all. Rudius just trying to zone. Yeah, he got away from the blue buff, but thankfully he had his retribution there.
1k goal lead onto the hands of Elusivity here. This is looking good, so good for them. But Senju have to flicker away. Doom might be trying to go for the chase, but they have to be fine. At least the Brilliance already popped by a Faden so that he'll be able to survive. But I feel like this is going to be a good start for the side of Elusivity here. They can try to go for those kind of engages. But Senju, what? He got caught?
I think that was just a misposition coming in from his side. But let's just say it's a bit unfortunate right now because you do not want to, the Violet Requiem all over again. But the Revitalize this time, it's going to be just enough for him to survive. Meanwhile, Rudius was the one taking down the damage. Oh no,
Oh,
Yahiko! You do not want to go in
okay.
that far because Thamus is going to be there trying to take you out. Julius tried to go in for a setup. Yahiko will be calling his Phantom Steed, trying to get Gabriel, but the setup from 27 on the 4 people with the throw up real win. He definitely gets it all, but Gory Cutie will find one. 2 for 2. Alice gets one. That's gonna be a 2 for 3 into that fight.
If only there was so much of a half HP coming through into the hands of Yahiko, I think that could have been a set of the time and a really good wipeout. But there, the good peeling coming through from Doom as well onto the Hylos, trying to save his teammate for a long while. And then I think he put out the Phantom Steed just to have that hybrid defense that he usually have onto the Leo mode here. And I think it really did well though. But good said, 27. I love it when Elise's plays like this, man. It's so good to go for the Throne of Runes onto the backlines most of the time. And these definitely will be able to work it out. Gone, he doesn't really have the damage even though he was trying to go into the backline most of the time. I think it did well, but then again, Elusivity, they are just, they are not behind on anything. They are the one who's actually ahead onto the goal here, onto the turrets as well. And Rudius is onto the top lane too, just trying to clear it out. Look at John.
A zone. Definitely a very good one for now,
Wow.
as far as we can see. And again, the Fury of the Phoenix
Corey?
tries to save Corey, but he's not going to be making out alive. But this time, the Alice, he's not going to be able to find anybody from the Throne of Ruin, but it definitely baited out a lot of resources to force them to back off. And now, Alice and Hylos have a lot of sustain, and Faden and Yahiko can actually contribute to the damage dealing part without having to worry about taking damage themselves.
That's what. And now Faden, I think if he is alive, as long as he is alive with the short ultimate cooldowns that he have, for quick circum they can actually go for any kind of fights that they wanted to, because this is definitely going to be okay. One stun is going to be enough for him to take anyone down, and that is the Lunox we are talking about. He's already getting out the farms in. He's already level 9, and Senju, he is on a hero like a utility. This is a not the kind of his play style, but I think it will work well with the team ups that they have so far. So they are just trying to go for a top lane though.
Yep, that's going to engage on Alice this time around. Of course, he's going to bait it out and go back with the little bit of the teleport he gets. But again, the Fury of the Phoenix doesn't really hit anyone. Gon is going to miss his Surge Ultimate as well. But the Glorious Pathway, it did slow them down for a bit, and they technically could have gone in for an engage, but better not to go in for that engage when you do not have an EXP laner into the fight. And that's a good amount of discipline coming in from the side of CRQ, and EVT just needs to regroup and bring back the early game advantage that they had.
The thing about Crisis is that he's been free farming for the whole game so far now, and even if you look at the level 2, Gon is gonna be actually behind onto him too. And the fact that Elusivity is just trying to put all in onto the hands of this Crisis, onto this Cloud, is definitely gonna be saying a lot. He's gonna be the one who will be the turnaround of events, and then he needs at least 5 items to do that. And that is not gonna be that easy too. But Doom onto the mid side, I think he's joining them away, I presume. Yeah.
Yep, he's gonna be trying to zone, then that's gonna be a massive knock-up coming in from Gon. Yahiko gets the retribution. Rudy's gonna take in a lot of damage. Leomar will definitely be chasing them down. Crisis trying to deal some damage to the Blazing Duet, but there's too much of tankiness and sustain coming in from the side of CRQ, and a lot of people grouped together for his bullets to actually deal the damage to a single person. And Elusivity will be giving away that Lord, which is gonna charge down the mid lane.
I don't understand why Crisis had to put out the sprint there, because for Crixogram, it's kind of a no-brainer that they would not go for the fight after the Lord take here. Looking at the build so far, he's not built out the Trinity just yet, so it's kind of very aggressive of him to try to go for the Blazing Duets directly. He could have gone for the setups too, but apparently I think they will be able to have a good clear, so they are dependent on to that. Crisis still able to farm bottom lane.
Yep, that's gonna be Julius taking quite some amount of damage, but so will Fade and uses the brilliance. Alice saves him. that setup is a life-saving factor, but Crisis trying to go in for Faden right there. He will get the shutdown, but Ari is going to be caught out very low as well. That's going to be a double for Claude. Major advantage being gained by Elusivity in that fight. 2 for none. I think 2 for 1 actually. And they also do not lose many of the important turrets, just the side lane tier 2 for now, which is going to keep them alive into this game for much longer.
This should become a problem for the side of Coach Raccoon right now. They shouldn't let go of this Claude no matter what the circumstances is gonna be. He shouldn't be feeding, but Rudius, what is he on?
He's on. Let's just stay steroids for now for trying to run away, but no, Alice gets caught, and that is going to be a shutdown play coming in from the side of EVT. CRQ, they were so in sync just a minute or two ago, but right now it kind of feels like they just lost that synergy in terms of their engages.
You know, it's still good that Yahiko is not the one dying, because this is a Leo mod. You do not want to die no matter what the circumstances is going to be. So I think it's still a good deal for the side of Crookshokem. But Elusivity, they did a really big job in trying to come back to all the losses that they have suffered now. And do this, I think he's dealing a decent amount of damage. He can dive into the backline most of the time and try to go for the execution if he needed to. But the thing is, they need to have Gorikuti into the fight. He's going to be able to sustain a lot more than they think. And Doom right now just trying to give out a little bit of a vision here and there. They're going to be stacking up, but the Lord is going to be into the contest on the side of Elusivity as well, because this Lord should be a decider of whether they can stay to the game long enough or not.
That's exactly it. But right now, you will be able to see some of Seeky play coming into West bot lane if Gonigon gets caught. Julius definitely has the spatial migration in there. Misses the jump. Gone, nearly outplays that, but if Crisis decides to chase her, it might not look so good, but he has the mobility, and the backup was already there from the Alice. Gonna be zoning both the Guinevere and the Claude right there, but Faden gonna be taking quite a lot of damage, uses of the brilliance to save himself, and he will actually manage to stay alive, and Corey Cutie will be the one falling down, killing Creeper Yahiko in that fight. And Elusivity looking for an engage. That's gonna be a spatial migration as well as Violet Requiem being used up onto the Alice, and the Surge ultimate manages to catch 2-3 now. They will be moving forward to use chance, but Julius steals away the Lord with the retribution, gets a kill onto 2 of them. Peyton gets a shutdown, Yahiko gets a double. It's a 4-3, but that's gonna be a Lord being secured by the side of EVT.
How did he manage to stay on a full HP into that elongated team fight coming through from Elusivity as well as Kurosukam Yahiko? Is a different base onto the Leo mod that we can see so far. He's able to get a kill onto Julius, but they did lose onto the Lord. So Elusivity, a very good job done by Julius. Finally onto the Guinevere, able to do what he was supposed to be doing here. And this is really going to be buying them time, a bit of a time, which is what they need, because of course they do have a good late game hero. Crisis died, but he still held the under the goal. 10k is what he have in comparison to the Leomon as well. Yahiko is still actually behind onto the goal in comparison to Crisis here, but still they will be able to catch up. Now he's gonna be onto his final build, which should be the Winter Truncheon, because he's gonna be needing that when the time comes, especially when Faden is trying to focus onto him, especially onto those team fight, because he is the main damage sources right now. Julius though, I feel like it should be better if he focus a little bit more onto the Leomon, right? Because he's gonna be the one who have the consistent crowd control that can take out the horse down, and that is rarely happening. Rudius has been the one trying to go in most of the time to the tanky members, even though you have the damages. I don't think it's enough for them to take anyone down right there.
Exactly. They need to find a way to catch that Claude and also Shenzu in a way, because technically the rest of them aren't that much of a threat yet. If they can just go in for a pick-off kind of play onto the Hilda or maybe Camus, then things will be looking much more different. Now look at the way to dive it on the Shenzu. They will be managed to take him down almost instantly. Yahiko definitely looking for the damage to zone away the backline. Gory Cutie gonna be caught out alone in the middle of 3 people, and he gets taken down. 60 seconds up until the next Lord. Crisis finally gets his Winter Trunk in, but is it going to be enough for him to sustain the team fights is going to be the question. Another Phantom Steed is gonna come in every 15 seconds now. Julie is gonna be taking in quite some amount of damage, uses the facial requiem to save himself. But right now, Rudius will be pulled out of the turret, will take in a lot of damage, but manages to stay alive for now.
That was a long, brawly competition that we have seen so far. But funnily enough, Faden's been, basic hitting onto the blue buff that took him a long while, while for the Lunox to take that blue buff here. But the thing is, Crisis is already onto the full build, right? He have the Malefic gun onto his hands too. That's gonna be another penetration as well as a range. That is a double 1-2. And now he's gonna be the one hunting quite a lot here. But the thing is, he don't have the spacing that is required. There's always gonna be someone stunning onto him. Already the Blade armor built away by Yahiko onto the Leoma, so he's not playing around. He doesn't want to get hurt with the amount of damage output that's coming through onto the hands of the card already. So I think this is a wise decision making coming through for him too. And now the Lord is already out. It's not going to be Evolved Lord just yet, but still, they elusivity, they are not trying to let them take it. They are just trying to contest it again because for the first time, Julian, onto that first contest, Julius was able to win it out, so they might try to do it again.
So, what's going on? He has the ultimate here. Will be using it to try and stun people down. Julius again seals away the Lord for a second time from the hands of Yahiko, but the damage coming in from the side of CRQ is a little too much for EVT to handle, as it's going to be zoning out of the damage dealers onto the back line, while Yahiko finishes off Rudius in the mid lane. 3 people down, 2 people being absolutely zoned away to their own base. Can CRQ try and march onwards to the mid lane? Winter Turkian play though from Crisis is definitely gonna get one in that fight. Array manages to stay alive for some time, but for now, let's see. CRQ needs to defend the Lord. Can they find this inhibitor is the question. I don't think they're gonna risk it anyway.
Yeah, they should have a play onto the good discipline out there because they don't have their good setup onto working on dying too, and he's dead, so they then cannot really do anything about that at all. But onto the other side of the Lord should be taken care of by Cook's Raccoon here. Unfortunately for them, they did lose it out. Julius again able to steal it away. This is gonna be buying them a bit of a time that they needed here. And Elusivity, knowing for their late game potential, will usually try to go for it again and again. But Crisis? Huh?
Oh no!
Nah.
No! What?
What happened?
He was literally like the last ray of hope kind of person.
Yeah.
But Julius doesn't have the dash, bro. He's alone. Uses the wind to try into the last moment, but he cannot survive that in any way possible. He's gonna fall down. 1, 7, and 6. He is definitely not having a good day. But right now, 2 members down and 2 major members down. It's only gonna be Shenzu, Rudius, and Korikuti trying to defend that mid inhibitor. Array trying to take the damage from the turret. Another surge ultimate is gonna come in and gets the stun on the 2 though. Korea's gonna get caught immediately.
Never
But
mind.
he's dealing the damage. Apologies. Look at that. They are going to definitely go in for the engage. They find Corey, but Maiden is gonna fall in the process. And yeah, that's what happens when you try to shoutcast for a game like this.
That's usually the side effects, man. But still, it just says a lot about the game here. How long it has been occurring. 18 minutes already. And the way that Yahiko has been losing onto the lore is just dragging out onto the game. Elusivity, Julius doing so good onto the retribution here while hitting on it too. And this gave out a lot of confidence for them to try to contest onto the lore. And that contest has kind of paid off because on normal scenario, you might want to give it up because you can have a good clearance with the a Z10 together with the Claude, and you can just wait into your bases, but they don't want to do that. They have good enough retribution power to go onto those contests here. And this time around, Lord will be into the 10 seconds of the game. This is already going to be an Evolve Lord so far, and we have to see who's going to be going for the contest because this time, again, if Crookswickham loses this, yeah, that's not going to be the best case scenario, no matter how good it is into the early phase of the game. The important Lord loss should not be occurring here anymore.
But again, we will be seeing the Lord fight this time around. Rudius here trying to find a target, trying to find Faden in that fight. And they are also waiting for Julius to look for a setup at the same time. Julius will try to find a good position though, and no one's really spotted him yet, maybe except Array. But yeah,
jump?
he's gonna get the jump. Yeah, but no, he's not gonna commit onto a high loss of course.
No
but
worries.
hey, so far,
Lord dance.
Lord dance.
They're dancing. I'm pretty sure Yahiko is like, yeah, I cannot really risk it anymore. But I think they might be going for the start. Never mind, still not Julius.
Oh no, Julius gets caught. But Gonigon, he's committed a little too much. Can he really sustain? That is the question. Crisis still has the blazing to wear, goes in for it onto the backside, uses up the wind of nature at the same time, gets caught, but will BMI back to his safety position? But Array will be the one getting taken down as Julius finds Gonigon into that fight. But for now, as much as we can see, Team Crux Requiem are at a loss of 2 members, and the Lord will definitely be getting chunked down by the side of Elizabeth. They might be able to pull this off if they get the Lord, but Faden is trying to look for something like a Ruby DD onto the backside, but it's going to be a little too late. Gets spotted by Rubius as
Ah,
well. Shinzo gets a shutdown onto Yahiko. It's a big one for them. Huge win into that fight. Alice tries to get the setup. Violet Requiem is going to knock him up, and Crisis finishes it off. ED gets the wipeout, shows them why they are called one of the most consistent squads in India, and now they'll be pushing forward with the Lord.
what a good start onto the Lord fight there. We know that they were just trying to get a big of a pick off onto Julius, but he wouldn't die. And that is going to be the decider of where they will be able to end on the game. A lot of heavy basic attackers coming to the side of elusivity. This could be a possible end. Look at that.
Yep, that's gonna be a massive setup coming in from Gonigon, but they lack the damage. EBT get
Moba.
2 kills again, and this time around, the base will be theirs as they find game number 2 and go in for the tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker, late game, and elusivity will be losing. Nah, that cannot really happen. Evolve Lore is this their power spike, and they were able to turn the tide around with just one good fight that they were able to have. And now we can see that the downside of having the upside of having a good clearance onto their side is definitely working out wonders for the side of elusivity here. We can see Crisis, he was already so online. He got the damages and he have a lot of items into his own hands already. He's been free farming into the lanes and they were solely dependent on the damage that Crisis will be providing. And elusivity, they put their cards right. They even put Senju and hero that on a hero that is a utility, and he's been setting up for the team for a long while, trying to cancel out everything that they have made a mistake on. And now we can see that this is going to be the big comeback that they have seen so far. And Corey, onto the end also, he wasn't dying anymore. He just refuses to die. And Faden, the one who was able to shut him down, was unable to do anything because their frontliner were taken down very early on. Even Gonigon, he did not stay into the team fight because he was just removed very fast.
That's exactly what. But if we take a look at the high, CRQ really did in the bag, but then something somewhere they missed out. Like this early fight, Faden didn't even get the chance to pop his flicker, and he definitely gave away a little bit of early lead to that Guinevere. And
Mm.
oh my god, like if you take a look at Guinevere's KDA, that is just so unfair for the side of CRQ in a way, because that Guinevere was not being able to perform at all, and it was technically just Shenzu and Crisis, and quite possibly Corey carrying the entire thing around.
Yep, this is exactly the best case scenario for the side of elusivity. Already late game is what they want to find in into the early stages of the game. I think they did quite well because they were trying to start off for the turtle. They were able to take it. They were able to have a good time. But into the mid game, they lose out onto the turtle, they lose out onto the sets, they lose out onto their members again and again, and it looked really good for the side of Crux Requiem. They don't have a kill onto the Leomord either, and that kind of give a big scenario for CRQ to have a good winning side too. This set was good, man. Only if CRQ were healthy enough to follow up to it, they could have avoided dying and just go for the wipeout here. But I think for CRQ they did not throw a bit. It's just that they dragged the game for so long that they cannot come back to the damage that was only already onto the hands of Crisis. And the fact that he have the winter truncheon means that even Faden onto the Lunos will not be able to target him, and we can finally see it after the 18 minute of the game when the evolve lord comes through. And until here also there was nothing wrong, but this shutdown was a big goal, and he was able to take 2 kills across the board here. So Crisis, he's gonna be the man of the match. I'm pretty sure he must have at least around 30% damage also.
Exactly so. And I think that giving Crisis the Claw is kind of a mistake for CRQ here because Bro is just so good onto his marksman. We know he loves his fighters, the CC, the Freya, the Lapu, he loves those. But his marksman, I think that is one of the reasons he's one of the OG better marksman players of this country for so long. And that kind of just shows in game high pressure stakes games like these where they didn't know they have to perform or they are going to face a much worse fate than they already are.
Hmm. This kill though, yeah, I think he performed so well under the Leon, but the Leon does falls down into a little bit of the game, and it was definitely going to be into the hands of Lunox, right? Faden should be the one who will be able to carry that into the later part of the game, but he wasn't having that opening because the frontliners just died too early on. Look at the Crisis though. I think he made a blunder here trying to kill 2 members right down, but yeah, this kind of gave them a big setback too. And these could have been a good set for the side of Cook's Requiem, but they are unable to earn because they don't have a good base lock here. They have a good damage, but they don't have a good base lock. They have only the Leomord for that, and Elusivity were perfectly on point with that too, and they were able to clear it out too. And Gone, him dying here so early on. This is the change up, right? The change up. Crisis was able to dive in, get out the damages in. They took out the frontliners too. Gone died. Array died as well, and that is the best. And even Yahiko got taken down, right? So this is the best way for them to start out onto the Lord here. And now that Lord, when they have a good crowd control and a good damage dealing potential onto the bases, this is they just end it without any cause. And look at this, it's gonna be the MVP of the game. It's Senju, not Crisis.
Hey, I mean, unexpected because we haven't seen him play Zacian as much, but if it works for you, then it works. And I think the major amount of damage came from the glowing wand and the wishing lantern mainly, and also the ultimates because it really did save his team a lot of times. Those timings were pretty accurate, and that made a
Mm.
lot of difference into this game. But let's see. Game number 3 is still on, and these teams, they simply just don't know when to give up. I mean, why would they give up anyway? But it's like they just don't know how to live without Bro.
They just can't, man. This is the problem with that here too. And I feel like, the this a utility into the hands of Senju couldn't have worked well, but it worked really fine though. But yeah, into the early stages, I think he struggled just a little bit, but now he's able to play the team game, and they were playing for Crisis only, and Crisis pull out onto the later part of the game, and he was like, "Yeah, I will do it myself," and he did it, and the team just supported too. And the fact that Julius, yeah, we cannot count him out because he was able to win out the retribution against Yahiko 2 times in a row, that kind of force Crookshakem to go to the late game, and they dragged the late game for so late that didn't become in favor for their side. The Tamuski became tanky, Crisis had the damages already, and there was no one dying for the side of Elusivity too, and that became a factor for this side. So I think Yahiko, man, this time around he might want to have a good contest onto the Lord.
That's what I mean. Let's see, the first game 28-2, and second game it was absolutely 50-50 except for that last mistake at the Lord which CRQ did, and that kind of just feels like they lacked in the draft somewhere. They lacked a bit of range, they lacked a bit of late game potential because the enemy has a Claude. First game, they definitely pressured the Harith and the Yisun Shin into not being able to farm because of the Khalid, but second game, they just weren't able to do it because Hylos is a very passive roam. Like,
Hmm.
it's just a hero, you just stand there and soak in all the damage, and that is what happens when you play a Hylos with something like maybe a Lunox. They were lacking the setup. Sora definitely did go in for a lot of good setups with the Thunder form as well as the Surge form, but there was no
Hmm.
follow up. The Lunox couldn't reach because of the amount of poke coming in from the Zacian. And They
Yep.
need to change that. They need to find a way to play to their strengths, and they need to find a way to reach the back line of EVT. Chenzo, he was technically very roaming very free in this game.
Yeah, he was untouchable here. There was not a good dive that he was gonna be saved from. But you know what? This time around, I think he should be prioritizing onto the first star here because it's definitely going to be a gear hero into his hands too. And the fact that he is able to play out the utility now says a lot about the improvement that he is able to do so here. But Kirkstrom, they could have ended that. They could have won that. They won that game, but they just dragged it out for a long, long while, and because of Rudius, because of Julius, of course. And now I think this is going to be the decider, right? Game number three. Who's going to be going into the next round here? The drafting is going to be very, very important for their side. And now, I would say late game heroes are no matter how much you can win into the early game. When the game doesn't go right, you should always have a plan B, and the plan B always should be the late game scaling heroes. So even though you prioritize onto those going fighter into the gold laners, maybe they can get something of a scaling hero into the mid side like the Lunos and the Kimis too, or the Yisins as well. It's still very important. So CRQ now, I hope they are able to adapt to the mistakes that they had into the previous game and elusivity. They are still into the first pick curse because they took the second pick. So look at the ban so far. Fanny gone, Jushin will be gone as well. What else can they remove? Freya too, right?
Yep, the Freya can definitely be removed in this one. But you know, they could. I mean, it's crisis. They wouldn't want to risk by giving away the Freya. They could also take away the Baxia like they have been doing into the different situations. Last game they actually ban out on the CC, so maybe they ban out on that. But CRQ
Mm-hmm.
needs to think this through because first game they had the second pick, and this time they have it again. So technically enough, the Jushin ban was very justified, like you mentioned. They should be
Mm-hmm.
banning out on the Baxia and the Freya up next, which is exactly what they did in game one.
Yeah, I think. Okay, Freya Ben. Oh wait, wow! Goodivir has so much of a big contest now, right? Even yesterday, we can see into the finals, there has been a contest onto this hero so far, and now it's gonna be bent away by the side of elusivity. No more Guinevere for Yahiko. He was able to perform so well. So now for the side of Crux Requiem. Hmm. What can they possibly ban here? If they want to ban out the Z10, I feel like it's a valid choice too. Or CC ban can come to again, but still Gonigon will be able to play out a CC2 if he wanted to. So that's not really a problem for their side. But the fact is, I feel like Crisis wins out when he plays the fighter against Gonigon. So maybe, try to respect out the heroes of Crisis too. But if they want to ban out the Baksha here, I have no problem.
That's what. I mean, let's go. That's gonna be a Guinevere and Farsa respect ban coming in for these teams. And the Kimi will be insta-log this time. Shenzo will be finally getting his comfort pick, his signature pick, let's say,
Yep.
for the mid lane. Should be pretty good for him unless Faden decides to go in for maybe the Kadita. That's a possibility.
Oh.
Or even the Yeet. Those two things might work pretty well against the Kimmy. The Zacian wouldn't be of that much use because she can get jumped in on, like Shenzhou had to face death in the past game for 2 or 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
But CRQ, what can be their first pick? They could lock in something like the Kadita and the Yisumshin at the same time, but that's not the case. They could also try and get the Grok Esmeralda, but no, oh, okay.
Oh,
Definitely
Gatot.
the YSS, good. But hey, it's Doom on the God of Kaja, something he is actually feared for whenever he plays.
Yeah, not the troll. It's the Gatot. Definitely gonna be a better picking onto the last pick of the game here. So far, Kalea being completely ignored. So Elusivity cannot pick out the Kalea no more here. And the fact that they are just trying to pick out the Yi Sun first means that they want to flex too. I feel like Gonigon can play it too here, but Yahiko it should be better into the hands of Yahiko in this game because they can get another marksman into the gold lane side if they want the Harry too. It can really work out, but because of the presence of the Kimi and the Yi Shin, both of the heroes, both of the squads have their own flex picks now. So Korikuri,
So if you want a prior into his hero, they can go for it. Oh wow, Elise definitely. I've never seen this guy onto the Elise, but say we'll see how he's able to do it here so far. But the highlight so very early on against the Gato together with the Yi Xunshin into the hands of elusivity. Rudius this time around will not be as active as he was onto the Hilda, but he's gonna be a big protector, right? Because for Akimi, you need a good frontliner who will be standing in front of you and you'll be able to free hit it out. And I think he is also a hero that slows down the passive of a Gato Gacha. So it's definitely going to be a win-win for the side of elusivity here. But Kirk's Requiem, why can't they pick it out here? Tamus? No.
I mean, they technically could, but you know what? 27 likes to play into the EXP in these drafts. He loves his Edith. So
It
that's a
is. Oh
possibility he
yeah,
could
true, true,
try.
true.
Yep, he could try and get it. They do might want to get the Sora all over again because it worked really well for them in game one, but it will
Yep.
get banned quite possibly as well because they already have their entire mid lineup in this situation. But
Mm.
EVT, they can definitely ban out on the Sora here. They could also ban out on, let's see, what could they ban out on really, except for the Sora?
I think they can ban out the okay CC again gone. Crisis is not getting the CC man. I'm pretty sure. Now they can ban out the Harrods also if they want. Carry already gone here because I feel like the magic damage from the hands of Faden will not be enough. But then again, they can play the Yi Xunshin onto the goal, get the joy onto the hands of Yahiko, and just get a good experience here into the hands of 27 too. But Kusukum now, you know what? They can just ban away the Claude here.
That's what they could. And the carry Claude ban, LEVT did that in game one as well, and somehow didn't work out for them. But CRQ are the ones who have the Yisun Shin, and they really need to figure out a way what they want to do with the jungle for EBT. They have the Lancelot that could work out still now, but and Kim do not ban it out, and giving Julius the Lancelot in draft like this is actually kind of very risky a play that they are doing here.
Yeah, I feel like they are setting up for the Harris man. No matter how I look, I might be wrong though. They can play the Joy or the Harris. Either way can be fine here. It's gonna be dependent on what elusivity ban here, right? They can ban another marksman here too, a gold laner. It doesn't have to be a Claude because they can play the Claude for themselves. Oh, so they ban the Joy. So now Crooks Rakim, they can take the Harris here. Uh, if they take the Harris again, they'll be getting a Claude, or they can play the Yishin into the goal side and take another hero for Yahiko. So what will be their decision when they need a good magic damage? They still have the Harley though, just saying.
That's what the hell is still gonna be open. But hey, we were talking about the Sora, and it's gonna be a
Hmm.
Sora for maybe Konigon this time around. We'll see. The last pick would be the most defining pick
Yeah.
for the side of CRQ. And Elisabeth, they still have a bit of flexibility. They have the Lancelot for Godspeed. I mean Julius here. They
Mm.
also have they have too much magic. They need something physical for their
Yeah, yeah,
goal
yeah.
lane. CC is out, so maybe the Lapu could work or the Granger if they wanna snowball it and just give the Kimmy Granger combination for this team. And if worst comes
Mm.
to worst, they decide to go in for a completely unorthodox pick, maybe something like the Suyo gold lane.
That's what. Okay, this is much of a better choice here. Good call onto the Lapu Lapu. I feel like there's a stroke of. Oh, there we go, and Harley. So this is the pathing that they wanted to go for. Okay, now it makes more sense. This is why Kirkstrom is like, it's so fine to see for the draft, but elusivity though, Julius finally getting his hands onto his Lancelot will be definitely gonna be making our day here and his day too, because I feel like the first 2 games that he's been playing, he's not playing to his full potential, and the Lapu Lapu into the hands of maybe Crisis. I think he is definitely gonna be playing much better, and he's gonna be laning against Goni Gon onto the Yi Sun Jin, right? So he's gonna be rotating much faster in comparison. So this might eventually be a good winning lane for the side of elusivity, but here again, it is a Harley, right? This is a hero which is so good in kiting, and the only reason why they pick out the Z10 as well was they wanted to play the Harley too. This is definitely gonna be a good setup coming through from the side of Crooksrookham. I hope they pull this off, man.
I honestly agree with you there because the Harley Ultimate and the Zacian skill pokes would be very, very risky for the side of Elusivity to deal with. They also have a good draw for themselves, especially Julius onto that Lancelot is very deadly for anybody to handle. But hey, look at Yahiko doing his signature move. It's stealing away the red already into game 3. I mean, who has not been a victim of this rotation? And poor Julius, he's not even close to realizing what he is in for. And he's definitely not going to be hitting that level 4 anytime before the 2.5 minute mark. Well, Yahiko is going to have a fairly easy time at the
Yeah, that is definitely gonna be good start coming through from the side of Curtis coming here. You should have read it out here, man. But the thing is, for elusivity, they still got time to try to go for the farms here. But Senju, not Senju, Julius will be a little bit behind onto the goal. He should be able to secure onto the a little wonder right here. But without the red buff, he's definitely gonna be delayed onto the farm. He cannot go for the invade. But do they wanna go for the invade is the question, because Gon also is just trying to help his jungle here.
Exactly, so it's definitely Julius going to be taking quite a lot of damage, gets taunted,
Wow.
and he is gonna die. He stole away the red, but he also gave away his life. This is not good for Lancelot into the early game, but let's just say Team CRQ, they are trying their best to keep it even for now, and Team EVT, they are doing their best to gain advantage at like as much as possible right now.
Level 4 already for Korikuti onto the allies here, so they will be able to start onto the turtle if they wanted to here. Onto the top line, a bit of a 1v1 situation happening for Crisis and Gonigon too, but Gonigon still able to have all of those passive onto him now. Julius able to get onto the turtle.
Oh, that's a massive setup coming in, but the damage from the side of EVT as well as CRQ is a little too much for both of the teams to handle, but CRQ gets the better end of it as they manage to take down the Alice while not losing their lives in the process. Gunny waiting for the moment to catch Shenzu off guard, who has just hit his level 4 and does not have the flicker. But of course, CRQ knows that they cannot over-engage, they cannot commit too much, because otherwise they will be the ones losing it.
They are the one losing it out here, man. But the thing is, it's looking good for the side of elusivity still, because they are not losing out onto any goal. They are equalizing onto anything that they could find right now. Onto the bottom lane though, still a lot of pressure being built upon onto Corey Cutie. This is the Alice, which is not gonna be as tanky into the early stage of the game in comparison to Sora. Also, because this is also the reason why you want to focus onto Alice as much as possible into the early stage of the game, so that he will not be that much of a tanky hero that you will have a problem with. Onto the other side though, that is already a passive being burned away by Love Faden. Here he's not gonna be having the passive, so wherever there's gonna be an engage, he needs to have that flicker on.
That's exactly it. But Gonigon gonna be using up that knowledge shotgun for a bit of vision. He will be on a slight bit of the losing end into the goal lane because the Lapu has far more sustain, but if it goes a little bit late, they will have much more of like damage in terms of scaling. Rudius survives the magic
Oh,
tricks
oh,
coming in from Harley, and I think it's solely because of the revitalize that he had there.
yeah.
And okay, again towards mid, as far as we can see, Julius trying to go in for an engage, but he's
What?
gonna get knocked back by the passive right under that mid lane turret, and Faden will manage to secure a kill in his name.
That is a good flicker coming through from Lalfaden here, and I think this time around they may be trying to go for the turtle here because it could have been good if Yahiko is able to get out the turtle here, but CRQ, not CRQ, EVT though, they're so good in joining them away. Level 7 already for both of the jungles, so this should be a 50-50 contest onto it. Array though, onto the mid side, unable to poke out his passive just yet. Look at him, getting poked away, getting zoned away. He does not have the revitalize yet. He does have the AOZ now, so maybe they can still go for the contest.
So now let's see. Again, Sora goes for the setup, and Rudius will be the one taking the hit this time. And okay, Sora definitely looking for a little bit of stunts there. The turtle pit, but no, Julius constantly getting those retributions on point. They get 2 kills this time around. Shenzu getting marked down. Julius finally redeeming himself with that early game kill, which he gave away. But no, Yahiko gonna be taken out very low with Corey Cutie. With the play, manages to survive. But okay, Sora still has the Thunder Form ultimate coming in a few seconds, and he might just be able to secure this kill for himself. But no, he's not gonna commit to it after all.
Blue buff into the hands of Akimi. That is Zenju, by the way, and this is not going to be the best case scenario here. Onto the bot lane, though. I think working on dying. Might be onto something here.
Yes, definitely something indeed. Giving Julius his Lancelot. Big mistake. No matter how good you are, Zonigon's gonna be taken out very low. Crisis not wanting to bait his flicker right here. Will play it out safe. Still has to bring his battle form onto him. But definitely not gonna commit to that fight. Faden in the mid lane, definitely having a tougher time than he would have wanted to, but Corey now already very low. And yeah, Iko absolutely bursts him down with the magic cards. And right now, they need to find a way to gain some advantage towards their gold, quite possibly, because that is going to be the main winning criteria on towards the late game.
Yep, that is what they are actually focusing on. But Christ is so good in trying to give Gonigon into the lane, right? But it is gonna be a little bit too late if he's still gonna be staying into the team fight. I mean, into the lane because he's definitely gonna be necessary for the team fight because of Raven's Riser too. And where he go now, I think he's gonna be actually a level behind in comparison to Julius here because Julius was able to get out a consistent 2 turtles and a lot of resources out there too with the kills that he have been having far. Now this turtle will be definitely important for the side of Coach Recruitment here. They need to set up for this turtle for themselves. But before that, they need Yahiko to have a good level in comparison to to Julius as well. So they have to farm it a little bit slow because if they give out this turtle again, the snowball will get out of out of hands and they won't be able to handle it out. But right now, Yahiko is just trying to steal it out, unable to do so. Julius will be able to get it.
Yep, that's gonna be an amazing setup coming in from Horikuri as well. This time on that Alice, Faden gets taken down along with Gonigon, and both of them suffering quite a lot, and the flicker doesn't help either. Sora trying to get a setup right into the turret. The turret damage will be a little too much for Rudius to handle, and he will be the one falling down finally from the side of Elusivity. 1-4-2 while Ahiko absolutely demolishes that tower. And I mean, attack speed onto a Harrod because of his passive is something very seen very often, but seeing it trying to push a tower is something new. Let's just say
He's actually a bit low on gold. That has to be one of the main issue why he wasn't able to take anyone down onto this big factors here too. And I think it's definitely okay now that we think about it because now, for the side of CRQ, they have for the side of Senju, he already have the Sky Piercer. He doesn't have the kills just yet. The kills were mainly into the hands of. Wait, never mind. Look at that.
Yep, 27 is caught in a pinch here. He doesn't really have any backup, but hey, mid lane, Julius gets marked down, but oh no, is he gonna be able to make the kill? He almost did it. Agoni had to flicker out just to save himself. Also, the revitalize coming in from Array to save his gold laner's life. CRQ definitely very big disadvantage for them here as Elusivity trying to, you know what, hold the game into their favor, trying to deny every single point of advantage to the side of CRQ.
But it's so annoying the fact that Yahiko has been able to farm into the long lanes here just say a lot, and he's been dependent onto the basic attacks because of the build that he has so far, the Starlim Shine and the Feather of Heaven, which is gonna be able to give him a good clearance there too. But the thing is, he's gonna be looking onto the damage that he's needed so far, and the fact that 7k gold is already into the hands gold is into the hands of Julius means that he's gonna be hurting quite a lot. He's on his way to build out onto this endless battle as well, which is gonna be giving him a lot of good cooldown. And if you pair it together with the War X2, that is already a good cooldown already too. And Julius right now, he will be able to get onto this lord, but Senju in trouble.
Yep, definitely in trouble indeed. But let's just see. Right now, EBT, they just needs to hold it together. And
Yeah.
CRQ, they need to find some kind of an opening, try and take down Chenzu or Julius at least. Because Crisis, he has been doing his job, but he hasn't been that impactful into the game yet. But Elusivity, that Lancelot pick singularly just carrying the entire team to victory right now. Oh no, Yahiko, he actually missed the dash a bit. Okay, but Crisis will be able to sustain that very easily. He has the Oracle Farms. Oh no, backline, Sora manages to dodge it, but will not be able to dodge the Thorned Rose, and he is the one who gets taken down. Insane amount of damage coming in from the Lancelot, I would say, and right now, things are looking very, very bad for the side of CRQ.
Yeah, they don't really look good. But Corey with the set, but look at that though, the Fury of the Phoenix coming through as well. But now it's gonna be Godspeed, I think. Yeah, Julia's still able to survive onto this, but he's just trying to go in again. He's on steroids at this point. He's so comfortable onto that hero, man. And now the lightning transcend already built away by Phaeton here. Not enough of the magic damage that they have so far, but still Yahiko needs a farm here, man. The deadly magic isn't doing anything to the damages. He wasn't able to take anyone down just yet. Just one kill on his hands, and that is not the best case. And he died again top lane.
Yep, that's going to be a attempt to engage by 27 as well as a Ray there, but they did not really find the targets. And now Julius actually picked up on the Malefic Roar, but so, hey, let's just say that Team CRQ is in a bit of big dangers right here. Corey doesn't really get anyone into that Throne of Ruin, but it was enough to zone people away from the side of CRQ, and now the inhibitors are getting like chunked down like anything, and nobody from CRQ is even contesting that inhibitor. Like, I have no idea what they're thinking right now, but that is
Yeah.
not a good thing to do.
They do have a good scaling hero, right? For Harley, he will be able to have a good comeback, but this time I feel like it's really a big opportunity. The chances are low. Julius already so farmed up. He is on the killing spree too. He will not be dying anytime soon. He have the brute force breastplate already, and base is open for the side of Cookster. They have only one turret standing, and still it's only 12 minutes of the game, and the lore is not evolved just yet. They don't really have this kind of good clearance that they want. And a Yi Xunshin, this is the downside of having a Yi Xunshin into the gold lanes. Like when you are stuck back into your base, you are unable to do anything here. But look at this Julius though. He's so comfortable. He just went in, tried to take out the red buff there, and just walk out, and they will be able to take out this lord too. And if they sing the lanes right, they might eventually be able to end the game here.
And EVT will get this lot pretty easily, no contest whatsoever. So let's just say that EVT has a major advantage right now, and nobody from the side of Parks Requiem can actually clear that fast either. They've got a YSS and an Asian True, but their wave clears are very limited. The YSS won't be able to trigger those crits from just the range attack itself. Let's just say that CRQ, I don't know what they need here, but a miracle is what they need to win this, and that is something that EBT won't be giving away too easily.
Yep. Especially Julius onto the last line will not be giving them away because he's able to dive into their backlines in and out and still able to find something here. There you go.
Yep, Yahiko is gonna get taken down almost instantly, but the Sora gets an amazing setup onto 3 people, but the Throne of Ruin as well, zone people away right into the base. Can Sora make it back? He does, but the team EVT, they will lock down on the base. They're trying everything possible to take people down. Zutsu takes down the god of Kacha. But right now, only two people remaining. One's Asian, one's Sora. It's not going to be enough for anybody as EVT take away game number 3, pull off a reverse sweep to take their spot into the grand finals of the upper bracket.
Oh my goodness, who would have thought that this will be turning around like this? It's so good for the side of EVT. Julius onto the Lancelot. Yeah, you do not want to give that guy that Lancelot. Banning away the Buckshot was okay, but giving away the Lancelot too, never gonna be good here. And CIQ, they did a grave mistake with that too, but unfortunately for them, I mean, fortunately for them, they are still gonna be having another chance at the lower bracket if they have their cards right, because lower bracket, fire is burning there. There's no easy team that they could fight there too. So it's gonna be a very long run for them. But for EVT, congratulations to them if winning it out with the two comfort picks into their hands, sent you onto his Kimmy. That is their first pick Kimmy, by the way. And Lancelot into the hands of Julius. He's so comfortable onto that hero. He did lose out onto that red buff onto the start, but hey, he doesn't really care. He won that red buff of Yahiko's, and he can still die for that. And from that on, I think it was really an okay gameplay coming through from the side too. Into the early game, it was a bit slow here, but Julius, man, he gets onto the farm that Yahiko already built up for himself.
Exactly so. And I mean, hey, EVT, first game, it felt like they were just, testing the waters. It felt something like that. And EVT is kind of known for this. They
Mhm.
love, like, testing their drafts, playing something non comfort first. But then, next game around, they turned it for themselves. And into the third game, they got the Lancelot. And the Lancelot has been their win con for so many seasons right now. And it just showed the gameplay, the confidence, the damage, the team fight, everything. It spoke volumes as to how
Yep.
comfortable Julius is on the Lancelot. And CRQ made that one mistake and they paid for it.
They paid for it, man. They paid for the price of the grand finals of the upper brackets too. 39% damage on a hero like a Lancelot, which is actually a semi-tank build too. He just deal a lot of damage, man. He was so rich under the gold. The War Axe already built in so fast with the brute force as well. He's not getting taken down, and the fact that for CRQ, they have his Hurley, right? The Hurley should be able to get out into this. He will be able to kite away in and out and try to get out his farms and get out the damages in, but he was unable to do so because at that point of a time when he have his items, the members on the side of EVT were actually already so tanky, and Senzu was able to walk away most of the time onto that gimme. He doesn't really get shot. He doesn't really get the ultimate. He doesn't really have he's in a vulnerable position to try to take and to try to be taken down. And I think they did not really find a good opening too. And hey, Gatot, Doom, he lost on his Gatot.
I mean, 100% Windward got a Kacha. Dumbai, what's going on? He will answer it. But hey, we have another best of 3 coming up, so let's not keep people waiting. And we'll be taking a break right now, ladies and gentlemen. We will take our leave for now, but stay tuned. There's 2 more amazing teams are coming right up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Indian Championship Series powered by Zutsu Gaming in collaboration with Vista and, of course, our sponsor, Tech Partner AOC. This is your boy Astis in the casting desk, and with me, none than my friend, my co caster, Debbie, will be joining with me. And today is the game number two of the upper bracket. This is a BO3 series. The last game was totally one of the best game, I will say, because we all
Mm.
thought it was Crux Requiem who gonna give a 2-0. But apart from that thing, there was a comeback from Elusivity Esports. They went on that reverse sweep strategy and they managed to win the game and forward themselves into the upper bracket. Uh, I mean, the next round of the upper bracket. And now it is Jutsu versus Team Noctura Esports. I mean, for now, I'll say the way we know Noctura Esports before, they're not doing the same thing for now. And Jutsu
Mhm.
Esports, they're kind of like having the best strategy as well as best gameplay on if you'll compare it with Noctura. So with the new changes, Devi, which I don't know, but
Yep.
you told me about, do you think like Noctura will be coming back to the like the way they were cooking before?
I'm pretty sure we will have to wait and see here because I don't really know why their combination is just like this. But I'm sure, man. Samet Mario is here into the new edition, right? So he will be able to pull something off. We'll just have to wait here because looking at the band so far, I think we're already into the drafting phase. That's going to be game number 4, Noctura Esports, as well as Jutsu Esports here. And they band away the Boxer and the Freya together. Toby so amazing onto the fighter gold laner that is, especially the Freya. So you have to remove it away as well as the boxer here, Raren's signature ban. Now, now that I think about it, this whole hero is always banned away no matter what the
Yeah.
situation is gonna be. So it's understandable, right? Raren against Raren, you have to ban this away. But the Juicing is always gonna be a red side ban. And now what could they ban here? It's gonna be the Yuzhong. Simon's Yuzhong taken away.
That means somehow we can say they might gonna go for that Ishinshin gold or maybe jungle Ishinshin for Raren, therefore they ban the Yuzong. Also, there is a heavy chance that Violet can go for the Eve because we all know like when Yuzong is awake in the banning phase or in the picking phase, you cannot go for a Ishinshin or a Eve. They will have a lot of problems. That might be a reason
Mhm.
they're banning out the Yuzong here, but the last ban, what it could be a Kalea or maybe you can ban a Kalea and go for a Grok trade for yourself, or else you can actually like ban somehow you can ban a you can say a Haddock maybe or a gold carry. There could be a lot of
Mhm.
things. There you go. They're going for a Hilda though here.
Oh, Hilda Ben. I think BCG is more comfortable onto this Hilda here, so they just have to remove the way. Because most of the time when you are onto the blue side, you want to remove all the heroes that is actually a targeted ban, and I think these three is a target ban. Very understandable here. But for the side of the red team here, right? When you are onto the red side for Jutsu, they will have to respond to the meta bans because they don't really, they can't really actually just delete away, ban away all the heroes that they can actually play too. So now let's see the Grok ban coming to. Oh, interesting. They wanna ban away the Grok. So Madara, I
Hmm,
think he can play the Karleya here if they wanna try to prioritize on different heroes. So it's gonna be definitely fine. But usually when you see Madara, he usually go for those Gatots and the
that's it.
the
Yeah.
Gatots and the Kaleyas, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
that's why it's actually important. But hey, it's gonna be Serar onto the Claude. Claude first pick.
Yeah. As you mentioned before, Serrar onto the goal. Like this is the first time I'm going to see that boy in the gold section because I love to see him in the jungle, but it's been a time that he can't show his real potential in the jungle. So it's a good thing. Like you're changing your role, you might gonna give yourself a little bit more space. But as I mentioned, you told about Madara's Kalea, but Ivesteasy is also loves to flex that Kalea with
Yep.
him. There you go.
Mhm.
He's going with the Kalea and leaving out the Ishin Shin. Like they ban the Yuzong. You know like they ban the Yuzong. They will go for the Ishin Shin. And now the thing is, the Ishinshin is a flex. It can go into the hand of Toby, so do into the hand of Rarin. We are not sure. And Rarin is so
Oh.
comfortable with the Ishinshin. So, therefore, obviously, obvious picks are coming in. And with this, we're going to see Viole with the Farsa. If it's not Eve, then it's
Oh.
Farsa. So, they're just going for a good picks here. But high loss, are you really sure about it? Like, the carry is open, though.
Carry is open, but they can still have a good combination with the Kalea carry together. So they already have a good start. Now they should put something into the hands of Zitat that can be a Uranus or something like that, so they can bend away the. Oh, they bend away the carry instead. So the thing about
Mm.
Toby is that he can play any heroes that he wants into the goal inside. So that's definitely gonna be okay. When Rarendo, he should be the one getting out the Yi Xunshin. But Leomord banned the way they don't ban the Lancelot against Kia, but Noctera though, yeah, there we go. Uranus ban. It was a very, very Uranus pick here. But then again, here for Jutsu, he can play the Esmeralda, or they can try
Alice,
to prioritize onto the Elise also. Yeah, Elise is also a good option here against the Claude. Can
yeah,
yeah,
they
they
can
can
go
do
with
that.
the sustain. Yep,
Mm,
they can really go with the sustain, or maybe I mean out of the blue they can go with the Sora, like a gold Sora. I mean in the hand of Toby, but Toby likes to play those proper marksman kind of heroes. But as you know,
mm,
like the Claude is already picked up, Carrie is banned, Freya is banned. So what could else? I mean a Sora, or maybe an Esmeralda, or maybe a Ruby, or after all of these things, he can go with a Harith as well for a little bit more magic burst. So let's see, like, if there will be a Toby pick or Zed pick, I believe like Alice or Esmeralda. Yep, as you mentioned,
yeah.
Esmeralda.
This should be. I feel like this can be into the hands of Zitat rather than Toby. I think it's
Toby.
gonna be dependent on one Nocturne Esports pick here because the Sora is still available for grass if they wanted to go for. Now that they already have the Claude into the gold lane side, right? They can actually pick out any hero they want. For Kia, he can play his Lancelot no matter what the situation is gonna be. His Lancelot always gonna be working out well if he wanted it to be. But for wait, they're gonna need the XP laner as well. So there is no saying because the Yi Xunshin and the Esmeralda is still a flex pick, so it's gonna
Yeah,
be a bit
yeah,
hard.
yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like they can go for the jungle, and there you go, the joy, and they don't want to give their Sora out. But currently, Zepter got a chance to go for that
Oh.
Valentina. A
Mm,
Valentina into the EXP, and you have a Esmeralda into the gold. Then you go with the Ishin Shin jungle as well. You have the poke burst with the, I mean, burst with the Farsa. So there is a chance. But is the Valentina good for nowadays in the EXP? Like
yeah.
we all know, like you're gonna contribute yourself into the team fight, but still, like in the 1v1 situation in the early phase, while they are literally onto that early aggression. Okay, that's a good choice, like a Phobius. But minimally, like if you'll actually go into the depth, Sora against a Phobius, Sora might gonna have a winning lane.
The thing is, they pick out these four-ways up to the very last because they were setting up for the Sora here for the side of Nocturne. They kind of know that the Sora might come true. So that's definitely going to be a good counter here. But this time around, it's going to be Toby on to the Esmeralda, something he
Hmm.
usually does. He cannot really kill somebody here, but he usually wins out onto the lane. So it's going to be a very, very interesting matchup against the Cloud as well, especially when it is Ramon too. So now like we already mentioned, Raden is going to be the one who is onto the Yishin. The Yishin and Kalea combination is definitely going to be out there. They have enough front line to peel for themselves too, and give out uh, the map control again because Phobius and Esmeralda alone is gonna be enough for their side. And the first burst that can come through together with the Kalea, it's gonna be a safe kiss for them side. No, but Noctura, they have a dive, so they will be very, very mindful, right? Especially for Kia onto the Joy. He have to be very good onto the beat so that he will not be getting caught onto those ultimates.
You know, Debu, I mean, Debbie, like the Sora, the Phobias mainly, it will be a problem for Kia as well. Like he is on that joy, and like the Infernal Pursuit will just got active with the Rhythm of Joy, as well as
Uh-huh.
not only that, Joy gonna get a lot of hindrance from the Kalea as well. So it's more
Yeah.
complex pick for that Joy, Kia here, and he needs
Uh-huh.
like more sustain for from his team. So in the team fight, I believe like. Team Jutsu having a good comp, but in the early game, if you're gonna talk about the early game, it is team. Obviously, it is team Noctura Esports. They're really having an early game draft. So do the late game because they got the Claw into their side. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Land of Dawn for the game number one between Team Zutsu Esports versus Noctura Esports. And this game is really a needed game. Whoever wins will stay on the upper bracket and will forward themselves into the next round of the upper bracket. But whoever lose, they will be going to the lower bracket. And there are some demons out there in the lower bracket, and we really don't want to go there.
Yeah, the lower bracket is more scary than the upper bracket here so far. Looking good here for the side of Zutsu now. They are able to secure onto this Lethal Wanderer here, of course, with the rotation coming through from the mid lane side, a good clearance coming through from Violet, as well as Abystizi, the dynamic duo. They are able to set up for the team themselves, but this time around is Abystizi though. He is able to heal out quite a lot. He still has the flicker, so he will be able to still walk away, but that is going to be a lot of poke coming through from the side of Noctura with the help of Kia as well. Onto the top side, I'm pretty sure this is going to be definitely a dead lane or maybe a good lane for the side of Toby here. He'll be able to freeze out onto the lane if he can. But with the rains coming through, with the cloud, I think still Saraman will be able to have a good time. But you know what? It's still weird to go Saraman a goal later.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, if you're gonna talk about the experience, it is Toby, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been in that lane so many years. But what
Yeah.
about Seramon? He's playing for the first time in my
Yeah.
eyes. In front of my eyes, it's the first time, and I'm not sure like how he's gonna build it up. It's like experience versus meta, but there you go. Slash comes up, first blood secured by
What?
Savage Warrior. It is Raren. He got deleted down there,
Nah.
but now there is a Rhythm of Joy coming out of Toby. He's getting a lot of damage, but okay, yeah, just deflected himself from the fight. He wants the
Ah, no.
turtle because there is no retreat holder from. Okay, I mean Raren is back though.
Okay, still that's a good side coming through from the side of Simon. They're unable to do anything just yet, but he's gonna be chunked down. What? What is he,
That
Game of
was
Thrones?
FFP damage. That was hell a lot of damage from the first. Violet was prepared there, and I don't know why he just went for that fight. But currently, Monoshocker released, and there is the Rhythm of Joy coming in. Let's see who will be having the retribution. It is Raren getting the turtle for himself, and not only that, Zetat goes there, and Kia falls down. Tsunami Slams comes up. There is the knockoff, and there will be Violet giving out the final blow onto Madara. I told you, like in the team fights, it is Zetat onto the Kia.
Yep, especially true. And now we can see that this much of a setup coming through from the side of Ultra could have been looking good for them, but their damage are actually lacking here. And the first damage is definitely going to be enough right there, and we can see that they are able to get one down. But then again, the turtle is already going to be, a good start if they were able to secure it too. But this time around, rather than trying to get a bit of a steal, though he might be in trouble.
Okay, he really wants to trade something for himself, but no, it's now just got traded into the hand of Noctura. They got the kill onto Robin. Abasizi falls down there. It's just Violet present. But that lava golem, maybe is it needed like for two members? You just got that lava golem.
I don't know, man. That could have been, for you to, as a jungle, for you to try to steal out of this small clip is okay, but then you need to know the position of wherever the jungle is gonna be, so that you'll not be getting punished. And so I feel like it's still not worth it. Radan, that was not enough. He just coasted it. That just coasted his life. And as a Yushin, getting killed 2 times in a row into the early stages under 4 minutes of the game is definitely not going to be a good sign here. He needs to go for the farm, get out of those team fights here. Don't do anything just yet, especially before the start of the turtle, because those turtles are definitely going to be more important for him than for Kia here. So he kind of overcooked there just a little bit, but Abystizi and Madara just giving each other a bit of a reason here and there, because now the turtle is going to be up in less than 10 seconds, and they definitely want this.
Launch on to the Noctura Esports. That's a good thing. Like in the previous set we saw in the turtle side, they just got their hand onto the Sora and then they finds the turtle for themselves. But this time it is
Yep.
Team Noctura starting up the turtle for them. There is the slash comes up. It's a little bit of poke and Fury of Phoenix. 4-man got trapped and it will be an easy turtle for Kia. Glorious Plaza comes in the way, but there is the Tsunami Slap coming in as well. Follow up comes up. As easy. It's getting melted down. He goes back, but he's getting chased down at this point. And look at that. There is the entry of Zetet as well, but there is a lot of damage Toby will be getting as well. So just got to go back at this moment. Cannot chase Toby
Yeah,
at this point because he's literally so much
yeah.
sustained.
you can't kill him. But Raren onto the other side able to walk away from all those damages. But Kia still
Oh,
trying to go do something here. But that is gonna be a good zone coming through from Viole. He wasn't aware or must be aware, so he just have to pop out onto this ultimate right there. So Raren now, I feel like he should be careful. But
oh.
hey, Viole taken down solo kill mid lane. How did that even happen? I mean, he was low, right?
One kill though, but that was. I mean, he used the feather airstrike, and there is nothing for him. Then the burst comes up from Savage Warrior. Now, look at that. The broad tier 1 it's just got fallen down without any defense coming out from Zutsu Esports. Not only on the top as well. See,
Yeah.
I'll say one thing. Like, if you're playing gold for the first time, doesn't matter. If your team is doing so great, then you will have the snowball, and you're gonna make the
Yeah.
match into your side.
The fact that Toby's been able to hold on to the lane is also a good deal for the side of Saramun because you know as a Claude, you might want to stay into the lane as long as possible because you're gonna be needing out those farm here. But Toby though onto the Esmeralda, he wants to rotate out across the lane, try to go on to the team fights as much as they wanted to, but they're unable to find something else yet. But Viole, that is gonna be a premature, yeah, that is a feather of airstrike coming through. But I think it's gonna be forcing out the recall from Savage Wire. But the turtle is definitely going to be having still a bit of a time to come through here in their 15 seconds. So his ultimate might be back on time. But you know what? Zutsu, they need to secure onto this turtle again because even though Raden has been dead 2 times in a row, he's actually a level ahead in comparison to Kia.
Of course, because of the jungle clearance which we're seeing. But now in the turtle, I believe this time Jutsu might gonna have an easy turtle for them. But before that, it is Noctura Esports starting the turtle for themselves. The Monoshocker release, they got the zone out there. Avastisi is getting a lot of taunts by Madara. And look at that. Let's see, we'll having the retribution. But before that, revitalizing popped up with the Glorious Pathway coming in. Tsunami Slam inside the Glorious Pathway. Fury of Phoenix still following up there. Ravren got to his back, but he will be getting chunked down, bursted by the electrifying beast. With the rest right coming out there. Sliver of HP for the OPS is going into it with the Infernal Pursuit. And Sora, he goes down. Simon there now, but in the meantime, just forget the turtle.
Yeah. They are going to be able to take out the turtle here. Jutsu not looking really good because 4 kills onto the board for both of the sides still good enough. But then again, if we talk about objective, Kias is going to be able to catch up to the gold that Rared has already been farming for. And they are trying to steal onto the blue here. Not a very good idea because the side of Noctura, they are very well aware that they are still going to be out there. Feather airstrike, just in case he's taken. They don't know where Kia is. And Viole, that is a good try, but yeah, that's a waste of resources there.
Of course, but the thing is, like, the cooldown is so less, so you can do that with the feather strike. But now the fight coming in, you need the feather strike for now. The Glorious Pathway just used as well. You slow down Zed here. Zed coming for the team fight, but it's more like Kia is not interested in this fight. He's kind of going for his jungle.
I think so too. So he's just trying to wait it out a little bit because you know, as important as it is for you to get the kills, it's also important for you to get onto the level where the opponent jungle is gonna be. And this time around, he is finally able to get out the Raden here, so it's definitely gonna be a good sign here onto the mid side. Raden and everyone there is trying to go for it. Look at that.
Okay, there is the fight comes up. Fury of Phoenix used as well. Right from the behind, bursting down Simon, and the final blow being given by Rarin here. That was a good start for in this mid to late phase. You know, like having the first kill in the mid game. And there's the first kill for Rarin as well. So, like, okay, getting the snowball. Okay, they're charging on to the inside the tier, and now we're gonna see that engage from the side of Toby as well. But there you go, the Monoshocker released. Just, I mean, beating out all those resources from Jutsu, I believe.
Yeah, there's nothing that they can fire out there. Nocturna still wasting out onto this Revitalize as well as the Glorious Pathway as well. But it's still going to be okay because they still have time to try to go for it. Already the Holy Crystal built away by Kia here. Viole has to be careful. That's a level 13. Oh, stun!
Okay, wings by wings. He finds his way back into the safer side. But now, look at that. There is a little bit of poke coming in before the Lord. Okay, there is the engage on to Abastisi. But he does have the Tsunami Slam. He might go for the engage, but not onto a high loss, but onto a Simon, and there you go. The Fury of Phoenix comes in inside the back line. It is Kia going in. ABCT falls down. Rorin onto the hand of Kia. Mega kill being secured by Savage Warrior. Zetan goes deleted by the Noctura Esports mid laner. And with this, without the roamer, without the frontliner, without the retreat holder, it is a free lord coming out in the hand of the Noctura Esports. But I believe Toby might go now.
Nah, I think, most of the time the fights that has been made upon by the side of Zutsu Esports should have been waited quite a lot well because, it's kind of premature most of the time. Abyss could have waited for the presence of Toby to come through because he can at least try to zone out the people away, and most of the time, the Fury of the Phoenix always coming in handy whenever the Kalea is going for the ultimate here. Top lane will be taken care of by the side of Toby though. He's going to be stunned.
He baited the flicker. He doesn't have the falling star moon, but look at that. There is the four-man gang coming out to Madara. He's kind of a little bit overextensive, and the price was his skill onto the hand of Zutsu Esports. But there you go. A little bit of folks coming in. Flicker baited. Fury of Phoenix comes in, but he got the tier damage. It was a 1-for-1. Outplayed. Not outplayed, but it was a greedy move.
It was a bit of a greedy move, but the thing is, Violet he could have survived if he didn't try to go back in. That is Sora. He have a good duration of the ultimate too. No flicker for Toby right now. He's still gonna be very, very, very vulnerable. On the other side, Kia though, electrifying beach.
Look at the damage. Look at the burst from the electrifying beast. Rarin and Toby just got bursted down. They just went back. And now it's the time that they will easily get that tier 1 in the mid. And with the expansion, there will be more fight in the jungle area. But out of the bot side, the Lord is marching in.
Yep, there's definitely going to be a good lure for the side of Noctura here. But then again, Toby is just trying to clear it down to the bottom lane, so they will not be able to get anything about it. Because Zutsu, they are trying to clear down to the lane as much as possible. They have good clearance with the ultimate of the Yi Shinshin as well as Rayole onto this Farsa, so they can actually play it safe right here. But the thing is, Zutsu, they are caught in a position where they are so behind. They are so backed into their own jungle. They are unable to do anything about it here. And the fact that Jitan hasn't been available onto those team fights is kind of costing them quite a lot here because he should be the one trying to go for the sustain to the backlines most of the time, trying to cancel out onto the blazing duet coming through from Saramun again and again. And especially there should be someone who should be focusing onto Savage Warrior, and I feel like Toby should be the one doing that, and they are unable to find that footing here because most of the time the shot coming through from the side of Jutsu is always prematurely done.
Of course, like Kia is there for Noctura who can go and dive into the backline, but from Jutsu, who will be the one? But you said Toby, but currently Toby is the one who's sustaining those damages, who's dissipating
That's
those
right.
damages for the team, and so he can't go for that attack. But I believe this comp is kind of a late game comp. If they will make the pace off and can take this game into a late phase, they might gonna make their comeback as well. And Jutsu know how to do it because it's already 13 minutes, for mostly 13 minutes. Before that, Tsunami Slam, Feather Airstrike, follow up. There is the burst coming in, but Fury of Phoenix will be halting away that Feather Airstrike. That was a nice move. Glorious Pathway comes up. Inside it, it is Simon with the ultimate Shundering Strike, but the turret damage. You need the turret for Zetat falls down. He went for the Infernal Pursuit, but now it's a double for Serra. Triple for Serra. Maniac, no, Rorin falls down. Can it be a Maniac? It was his first game with a goal, and he got a triple against Zutsu Esports. That was a quick move. That was a rampage move from Noctura Esports' new goal laner, who was the ex-jungler of there. But now, as the 4 members goes down, Debbie, it's the time for the Lord. Easy Lord. I don't believe Toby gonna... Okay, Toby went for the fight though. 4-man targeting him up. He's getting a lot of damage. He's at a sliver of HP. Can he sustain? He's still sustaining. Can he go back? No! The Glorious Pathway slowing him down. Take him down as well. And not only him, but 2 tiers in the mid. They managed to secure all those tiers in the bot and mid. And now it's just the top. Lord marching onto the bot. The no holy shield available because it's already past 12 minutes. The game is going literally into the hand of Noctura. Can Jutsu defend this lot? Can they make their comeback? Can they defend their castle?
Yeah, that's what we are waiting for here because the clearance coming through from the side of Viola is going to be enough to try to zone them away. But, just for the Yeeson, it's definitely not going to be enough here. Dr. Ace was doing a really, really good job in trying to howl out onto the lane as much as possible so that they will be able to sync it out. And the fact that, Zitat wasn't able to do anything onto the Phobias, trying to go into the backlines here, especially on the Savage Warrior, but he got knocked down with the passive, which is definitely going to be costing them the life of that Phobias here. And this is not a good sign for the side of Zutsu Esports here. They don't really have that good of a clearance. Goal is into the hands of Raden though. He has the damages, but he's unable to find out the final, the good footing here because his position is always getting caught out. But Savage Warrior, he got caught. That was a good ultimate coming through.
Okay, and the follow-up from the Feather Strike as well. But now look at Simon. He goes in. He got the stun. Unstoppable for Serarmon. He's backfiring at this moment. And not only the retaliation, there will be the consolation from he goes in. Killing spree. Double for Serrar. Double for Kia at this moment. And it's just Toby. No, he can't sustain. He will go down with the rhythm of joy. And it's a full team wipeout with the minion waves going inside the castle. And with this, the critical popped up. It is team. It is team. It is team Jutsu
Noctura.
Esports who won the game. Sorry, it's team Noctura Esports who won the game.
They're definitely doing so well into the game. Ramen, unfortunate. Not unfortunate. And we were actually very sad to see him into the gold lane side, but he is doing so good into the team verse. And most of the time when he entered with the blazing duet, he was able to get out the damages in. He was onto the Trinity very early on. The penetrations were set in, and then he just goes in like that. And Z-Ted, I think he was trying to focus onto the corner as well, but he was unable to because of the BMI. And most of the time when he tried to go in, he got melted down very, very easily. And that is also one of the reasons why I was hoping for a hero like the Esmeralda into the hands of Zeta, but I think he was unable to get the farm into the laning phase as well, and that kind of goes out of the game for the side of Zutsu here. Second game is still there. This is a best of 3 series. I hope they have a good comeback here, but then Noctura, their lineup, their setups were also very, very good, especially Kia. His entrance were perfectly on point.
Of course, at that point, I believe like that Tsunami Slam and Feather Airstrike setup for Zishan, the Savage Warrior was totally onto the point, but then they should have retreat. They shouldn't have went for the fight because like Simon is there with the Sora. He can actually go for you. He can actually take you down. So he went for it and he got the setup there. Even though Zetel was present, but the damage from Serra was totally high onto the point. And I believe Debbie in the second picking phase that was a little bit blunder. I will say like you could have
Yeah.
went for the Sora because the Valentina is already.
Yep.
The Deacon is already picked up. So if they're going for the Valentina EXP, it is kind of a gamble for them. So going for the Esmeralda and giving it to Toby, who is kind of good with this proper marksman kind of hero, was not a point. But then not letting that Toby getting all those damage, not letting him to go for a proper attack was not at all a good idea. And so far, I will say like they also did not go to that goal lane gang onto Seramun and like a Claude getting snowball into the late phase. You cannot stop it out. And with this, his first game in the goal in my eyes, and he got the MVP man. That's the quick one to learn.
Yep. A quick one of that, a nice bill. He have the 331% damage dealt. Also, he was all over the places as well. I would like to think that the laning phase was eventually in favor for him because he was been staying into the lane as long as possible. They weren't taking him down too. And Gerard, that's on Claude is already an amazing game for their side. So let's see the game number 2 though. Zutsu will be onto the first pick, Natsura onto the second pick here. They might have to try to draft it very, very well here for Jitsu. And I would love if they give away the damage dealers into the hands of Toby, but we'll never know. But look at the bans though. Buckshot is always going to be banned by the side of Natura. The Jutsu can come through again, but Yuzong taken away by the side of Jutsu.
Obviously. This time might once again they want to go for the Ishinshin. So like you don't have to let the Yuzong open and I even know like Simon loves to flex that Yuzong as well. So obviously, either way, just ban it out, and it's a good case for you. But now the first ban on the Bakshia, I believe the second will be onto the Chushin as well. It's like every time we see a Bakshia ban from the left side, but this time in the left there is Raran, so you cannot take that risk. You have to ban it out for yourself. For your side, and with this the second ban, obviously it's gonna be Jushin. You cannot open the Jushin for Viole. He loves to play that Jushin as well. Everybody loves to play that Jushin. Who doesn't want a Jushin in their side? And now, in the
There's one.
second wave, there's the Freya coming in. Okay. That means a first pick Claude from Toby. What do you think, Debbie?
I love it, man. Oh, maybe I'm just, I would love to see him on to the first pick here, but I think still, he's very comfortable onto those damage dealer marksmen, right? But he's also good onto the fighters. But then again, they're gonna need the damage here. And Raden can get his utility, but they don't give him the utility. That's what Nocturne Esports is doing right now. So we are still onto the ban, right? So
Yeah.
Jushin, Jushin can be banned here for the side of Nocturne. They can, yeah, Jushin, either Jushin and Grok. There's a possibility.
Chushin. No doubt.
Jushin
Like
or Grok.
Rock can be the one in the next ban. For I mean, they are having one more coming in.
Mm,
Okay, that's a claw. They really don't want to give that claw into the hand of Toby. That was a totally precise ban coming out from the side of Team Noctura. But there you go. If you ban if you ban the Claude for Toby, you're leaving out the Grok. So either way, you're trading something for them. I was teasing onto the
yeah,
Grok. Now, what do you believe? Madara onto a Gatot or a Kaza, a late Kaza maybe. Leo
late
mode Kia.
Gaza. Oh, yeah, Leo for Kia. But nice ban onto the Yijun though for Zutsu Esports. They don't want to give away this hero apparently. Even in the first pick also it's not really good here. So now it's gonna be the decider whether they wanna go for the marksman. The fact that in this current patch, it's very, very risky to go for marksmen, right? Like the clock is always gonna be banned away, the Granger is always situational, the carry is always gonna be banned away. It's not a really good first pick too. So you cannot really go for all of this. So first pick though, it's gonna be Sora Valentina coming through for the side of Noctura Esports. They don't wanna give away the Sora ultimate to the Valentina, so that is gonna be a good call because still they have the Grok to remove, right?
And now we're not even sure that this Sora is going for into the hand of Serrar or Simon. So it's like it's a double trade, I will say. But I was thinking a Leo mode Kia, Zetian Savage Warrior. You're leaving the Zetian with the Grok, I mean, an Initiator and a Tech Charge. It is not at all a good thing. I mean, just think about it, Debbie. Like Leo, Zetian, and a Gatot Kacha into the lineup of Team Noctura Esport. They could have been bringing a lot good crowd control with proper finishing as well. There you go.
Mhm.
Viole with the comfort,
Oh,
Rarin with his main.
wow. Two comforts. Definitely the biggest case that we can see so far for the side of Zutsu here. Now they have a good setup for the goal lane as well if they cannot go for the marksman into the goal lane side. But Noctura though, they pick away the Hylos again. In this combination, this is just gonna be a slowdown. Most of the time when you see a Hylos, it's usually used as a when the team fight gets too much out of hands, the Hylos can come through and just stop everything with the glorious pathway and the ring of punishment most of the time. So that's definitely going to be a good case scenario. But this time around, so prioritizing onto Raden's hero is what you should do until the first game, and that is exactly what they are adjusting to right now. They can pick any hero into the hands of Toby here. They can wait for it. Now, not Surado. They have to ban out the heroes, right? Esmeralda, Uranus, they can ban here. Okay, they ban out the Uranus instead and carry ban coming through from the side of Jutsu because still, Noctura, they need all the damages, right? They need to
Mm.
play their marksman too. So they might eventually also ban the Granger.
Yeah, they might gonna ban the Granger, but Debbie, like flexing out your mid in a very, I mean, with Valentina. What
Mm,
about like now the carry is banned? You could have gone with the Lunox for the burst. And now you are lacking the
yeah.
burst. You don't have enough burst. You cannot go for a okay. There is a burst. If Jutsu gonna ban out Harith, then the things will be ulterior. But if the Harith will be
Mm,
present, we might gonna see Serrar on a Harith or Sora is the goal. This is kind of tricky for me. Last ban
mm.
Granger, as you mentioned.
Yeah, Granger is taken away by the Scion Noctura. I was actually preferring the Granger ban to come through from Jutsu instead of Noctura. But maybe Sarah doesn't play out that. Now they are just, lessening down the amount of marksmen that they have for themselves too. There's no oh wait, okay. Now there's no way they will be flexing the Valentina into the XP right now, but the head is gone here, Jutsu. They are just for Jutsu it's definitely safe for them to bend away the marksmen here because they have the Kimi already. They can play anything into the golden side, especially into the hands of Toby though. And now Noctura, they are just, losing out onto the amount of gold laners that they have so far. So what is gonna be a valid choice now? All the good marksmen are actually gone.
that's the thing. All the good marksman is actually gone, and you need something for the burst. Can you go for a Natan in this pick? Like, obviously,
No.
you need to wait for the lane. You're gonna gamble with your drop, but still, like, if it works, it's gonna bring a new meta in the India as well. So let's see. But, okay. They wants to go
There we
for that last.
go.
Give us the thriller Kia with his flex. I mean, with his main.
Yeah. Last time I casted for this guy, he was obliterating everyone with the last shot. Of course, in a different server, that was eventually a good one too, and he was able to farm it so well. And there we go.
Mm.
Jutsu drafting it so well. Again, Zitat onto a hero, the Phobias, and now this time around it's gonna be the CC onto the gold lane here. Now it's gonna be the decider, Ash, who is gonna be into the goal. Who are they gonna be picking into the goal inside for the hand into the hands of Serarmon here? Either he have to go for the Esmeralda or something like that, but they won't have any late game hero.
I mean, there might be a chance Sora is onto the goal and they will go for Arlot, EXP, or maybe you can say like not a
Arlo
Lapu Lapu.
against Bovias? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But they're gonna give out some sets for the team. Obviously, gonna lose out against Phobius, but gonna give some sets. But what about the Tammuz EXP? Like it's gonna
Oh,
work as
wait.
well. You can
Yeah,
go for
wait,
it.
let's see. At
Tammuz
least,
EXP, Sora Gold. Oh no, they need the burst.
oh,
They need the true damage. So they wanna go with the X-Borg. This is literally cornering them down to go for an off meta pick. This was
I,
really a good job being made by the side of Jutsu, and I'm kind of gonna
yeah.
say that if Kia gonna play a miraculous play, then it is Team
Mhm.
Noctura with a 2-0 clean sweep. Otherwise, this draft is kind of totally into the side for Jutsu. Other than one thing, I'm just feeling not well from Jutsu is they were lacking damage right now. There's just a Kimi, and if they will wait for the late, then that will be something else. But what if the Viole will be getting cornered by Kia or someone from the side of Noctura, then they don't have a damage.
Yeah.
CC, are you saying like CC gonna give the damage? He gonna give the setup. He gonna initiate it out with the tech charge, but it's only Viole with the damage dealer. He gonna put the Sky Piercer, no doubt. Let's see, like this is kind of a thing I will doubt on Jutsu. Other than that, Jutsu draft is totally great. They played with the mind of the Noctura. Let's see how the execution part comes up.
I think I don't hate the export here, man. Against the CT also, you are able to have a good time into the lane as well as into the team fights too. I think that eventually might be able to work here because the Fredrin is definitely going to be suffering with the two damage that can come through into the hands of onto the hands of Saramon too. So this time around, they have to be very very calculative on the way they are starting the team fights here. And Viole, he is his comfort. Raren also comfort, but they need to play it very, very cool and try to win out at least this game.
Of course, and as you mentioned, like the Kimi will be there. So early game aggression been coming out from Zutsu Esports size at this moment. But you're gonna see that Sora, how it goes
Mhm.
for Simon this time. I really want to see this. But Xbog, okay. You're happy with it against the CC, but I'm not happy with it because of the team fight comp. Like
Yeah.
look at that. Look at that. Already off. Already off from his Peraga armor.
That is going to be always a poke coming through onto the goal lanes out here. But hey, they will be able to poke it off and to be able to win it onto the crypt as well. This is definitely going to be a good start for the side of Zutsu right now. Finally able to do something onto the lanes here. Braga Armor being back again. Will he have to back away for Toby because Savage Warrior rotating bot lane, and that's going to be a first blood.
Okay.
You jinxed it, man.
You know
My
it. You
friend.
know it. It's Debbie from Noctura, guys. She was the one drafting for them. She's the coach. Coach Nancy,
No.
Coach Debbie. We Coach Nancy. We got Coach Debbie. Well, let's it be. But that was a thing you need. Like you need to go for that rotation onto the goal lane so much so that Toby can get the spike. But there you go. A lot of damage on Madara. Madara needs to go back. He's getting halted. That raises rate. Sliver of HP. Managed to go back though. A lot of resources got baited down before the turtle. It might be an easy turtle for
Yeah.
Kia.
Still, they do have the spell, so that's definitely going to be okay. Gets farm here. Kiado getting stunned down by at least TZ onto the Grok here. He still doesn't really have the tech charge, but onto the top lane side, though, that is going to be an ult already burned.
Infernal Pursuit goes on to Kia and the member. Got loud, set that falls on Kia as well on the hand of Violet. Easy turtle
Oh.
coming out for Raurin with the victory, but he's out right now in a very less HP. The penetration zone comes up, sliver of HP for Easy. Can he go back on from the behind? Oh my goodness, Serarmo joins the team fight. The burst comes up with the damage from Seramun. That was totally insane with the last insanity. And but it was the Flicker who managed to save Abistizi from the last insanity, I will say.
Yeah, that was a good rotation coming through into the bottom lane here from Serarman, though. I think there was going to be a lack of communication coming through from the Zutsu as well. But onto the top lane, though, there's a bit of aggression coming through from Simon onto Z-Tot here. He's just going to have to flicker away a waste of resources. But onto the map, if we can see that, it's going to be a bit of a focus onto the bottom lane side for the side of Noctura. Noctura Esports, they want to focus a bit onto Toby as well. But hey, he have the sprint, right? He's still going to be able to walk away. Nope, he's dead.
The turtle sequence was totally, I mean, if you would actually see it, there was a Phantom Execution about to come. He could have taken the turtle, but then the Fedrin stoned. It just cancel it out and Kia falls down there. But they won the trade off because of the kills they got. Like, it was a pretty good move from Serarmoon. But I would say, like, he could have taken out Viole with the normal first kill and then last insanity onto Abistizi. But it's okay. You're not greedy enough. That's so good as well because you need the discipline, you need the, like follow back as well. But now it's Team Jutsu who are currently having backlashes because of the skills being confronted by Noctura Esports. Okay, they are taking on Madara. Traction pulse comes as well. Simon goes in with a Shandering Strike there. A lot of damage got dished out. Glorious pathway, sliver of HP got down there. Madara into the hand of Zetat. And there you go, another kill. Solo kill for Serarmun, sliver of HP. Simon, can he manage to go back? Yup, he managed to do that. But 1-for-1 trade. What is happening to Toby though?
Do not understand what is going on with this guy, man. There's definitely gonna be. This is the reason why I kind of prefer out into the Xbox here. But can they kill him though?
No, just a poke.
Okay, just a poke here and there here. Definitely gonna be good enough for the side of Natsura here. Now the turtle is gonna be taken very, very easily. Z-Tot also unable to do anything here because he's just trying to jump here. But look at the damage, Joe Raden.
Traction falls. Oh my goodness, Kia got the turtle there, but there is the whole glorious pathway and Madara falls down as well. But now the knockoff comes up with the tech charge and it will be a double for Toby. He joins the team fight, grabs double. Simon falls down. 3-man under the way for Zutsu Esports. But they got the turtle though. I mean, who is getting the turtle? Whose team is getting the turtle? They're losing the members. This is totally a fun thing to see.
Turtle, of course. Yeah. Now they will be able to take out onto the top lane Elizabeth here. So there is a good jump coming through from base DZ onto the Gorgon as well. But onto the bottom lane side, I prefer that if they wanna, focus a bit onto the goal lane here because Toby's been getting Joan out here and they're getting again from the side of Noctura Esports. 3 men onto the bottom lane. They are going in again. And the fact that Zutsu Esports they are actually trying to not gang onto the Xbox here is because they know that it's gonna be a futile attempt because they will not be able to get a kill onto him. The Faraga armor is always going to be available. He's going to be onto the flicker again and again, and that is not going to be a hero you want to go all in onto. There is also, that is one of the mini reason why I was preferring onto the Xbox. But they can go into the late game for the side of Jutsu, and then on they will be able to scale it up and get Violate the damages items that he's required, especially a stack onto the Sky Piercer.
Okay, there is the damage comes up. Last Insanity being used out. It's a forced out Last Insanity, I would say, but he somehow managed to defend himself there. But the thing is, in the first turtle, it was Seramun who follow up there, got some kills, and then in the second, it was Toby with the CC, and he got grabbed up, double kill. Okay, Kia goes in, he got the turn, he got the first charge, he got... Oh my goodness, he somehow managed to go back with the help of the puncture, but then Fona Pursuit coming in right now. A lot of damage, though, onto Simon, and it will be Rarin giving out the final blow onto him and got the kill into his hand. Without Simon, it could not be easy to get go for the turtle, but Kia, can you go for a clutch?
They can definitely go for a little bit of a clutch here by Kia, man. He shouldn't, there was no reason for them to come through with that too. They couldn't have lost it out, but the turtle will be taken away by the side of Zutsu Esports here. This is definitely going to be a good start. Now back into the game here. They are 1k goal lead. The turret onto the top lane already taken away, but hey, bot lane again.
There was a gang, but somehow it is like Kia goes back.
Mm. Now they just want to know that they cannot really go full on into the side of Noctura here, because the Ramon is always gonna have his Faraga armor, and for even Kia too, he's always gonna be having the dash around. So they are actually focusing onto the turrets rather than the kills here, which is a very very good adaptation coming through from the side of Zutsu. Now they are looking very good. They are looking very strong in the way they are approaching onto those team fight again and again. Zitat though, I feel like it should be enough for him to give away the lane to Violet and try to zone the team fights together if they are able to give out onto the goal, all the goal into the hands of these guys, because Kimmy is definitely going to be the main source of damage here. Even if they try to go for the set without the presence of the Kimmy, they definitely wouldn't have any damage here. So their priority should have been Viola here, but still they have time. Hunter Strike already built away by Kia though.
Yep. And in the mid side, you're gonna see that rotation coming out from the side of Team Noctura Esports. For now, Toby got the spike he needed, and he gonna join the team fight. He gonna initiate the fight with the curtain calls. They're gonna bind two people, and the tech charge will really gonna grab up some kills there. But onto the top side, like if you'll actually see, it is. If you're gonna talk about the lane clearance, it is kind of slow from Noctura Esports, and that's gonna give them a lot of lane pressure in the late game when all their structures falls down. If obviously, I mean, Kia is there though, but he cannot waste his skills onto clearing the minions. Now Puncture comes up, he goes for a little bit of poke. Stone Rose here. He goes back as well.
That was a bit of a blunder coming through from ABCZ as well. But onto the other side though, they are just trying to push them away from the zone here. Goes passed away just for the zone now, but Raren, look at it on.
Whoa, tech charge from behind. It is the IMU tech charge, and 4-man got knocked out. Raren falls down in the hand of Savage Warrior there. This is a trade coming into the hand of Noctura Esports. They're charging onto the mid side at this moment. Can they take the turret? No, they're going for the Lord at this point. There is the fight still going on, the taunts, but it is Avastisi zoning out the situation. Serar Moon comes up. He's halting the way. He's not letting them come to the zone of Lord, but they're onto the top side. The split pushing coming in by Toby. You need to stop him out, otherwise he's gonna eat all those turrets on the top. There's a traction pulse, comes up, take charge onto Madara. Madara somehow finds his back, but what the heck happened there? Sora, solo kill onto Violet, but got a follow-up from the Team Jutsu and goes down as well. They got the Lord, but as I told you, you're gonna eat all your turrets on the top.
Yep, this is definitely going to be a good start for the side of Zutsu. They did those out onto the board here, but they are able to get out a turret or two onto the top lane side. A lot of farm into the hands of Toby too, and he's dishing out a lot of damage onto the Saramon as well. And now mid lane is going to be falling down too. The Lord will be taken care of onto the bottom lane by Raren. They don't have turrets that are standing still, but Noctura, they are finding ways to try to find something big for themselves, but they are unable to. 1k goal lead is definitely going to be into the hands on the side of Zutsu Esports right now. They are so return to the goal, but Kia doing something.
Yeah, he's not doing something. He just goes down. It was not a good choice. Like a lot of CC is there from Jutsu. You cannot gonna flew out from them, so he just goes out from the map. And it's Noctura who got the Lord, but look at the map. The whole top is clear. The mid tier 1 is falling down, and it is Toby. You're gonna give that credit to Toby. That guy just thought we don't have the retribution right now. He's out, so let's just steal some turrets. Let's just go for a gamble. If one man can come up here, then they will reset the Lord, and if no one will come, then I'll get the turrets. So it is kind of good trade from him, I'll say. But there is a little bit of poke coming out from the side of Zutsu Esports at this moment. The Yo-Yo Blade is being used. They're going for the Saramo. He just got the Feraga armor back, but he does have the immortality. He used the Last Insanity on nothing. That was not a quite good move. You saw that coming in, and the tier 2 falls down. Yeah, literally taking up all the structure's lead.
That's what, and the fact that, while they have a good stun, they shouldn't go for the engage here, man, because For Noctura, they can just clear it out, but the mid lane might be into the focus here again. Mid turret will be taken down by the side of Jutsu here. They are focused onto the inhibitors here, but oh wait, what?
Ooh, that was a great chance. Savage Warrior falls down. Immortality popped out for Serrano. One man down with all the tier 2s falls down from the side of Noctura Esports. Now the map is open for Jutsu. They can easily go and take up some fights inside the jungle area. And there you go. The Phantom Execution comes up. They are going for the Toby at this point. The Yo-Yo Please just got unlocked. And there is Simon coming in for the follow-up. But there is the wall come up. And there is a distraction pulse as well from Viola. He's giving a lot of continuous damage. Glorious Path is slowing down at this point. A lot of resources got baited down. And now Team Noctura, they just goes back. You know, like currently they don't have the resources. They can't take the fight. That was a wise choice. But before the Lord, Debbie,
This is they for the side of Noctura here, they cannot really go for the contest here. But then again, if they wanted to go for here, they need the Revitalize to be coming through here. Already a lot of damage built away into the hands of Viola right now. He have the penetration, he have the stack onto the sky base, and funny enough, he's on the warrior boots because yes, Kia is hitting a lot of damage. His damage built, and he might eventually try to go for the BOD as well. But Simon now trying to go for the engage. His level 12 Zutad. He might have to do something here, not what's around.
okay, Traction Pulse initiating with a take charge. Two-man got
Yo.
bursted down. Killing spree for Toby on the Madara. And there you go. Simon falls down as well. There is the glorious pathway, but look at that. Serrar Moon, he's getting cornered, and Viola will be giving a chunkiest damage and shut down from Abyss TZ. Three-man down with just Kia in the bush, but he can't take the Lord away from the hand of Zutsu Esports. With all the turrets being live from Jutsu, they're not going to have any
Okay.
fear on it. And look at that. The Lord is going in, and Toby is the mastermind, I will say. That curtain call was on to the point.
You know, the fact that he was 0-3 deads down and he was able to survive all of those and get 3 kills already was definitely going to be good enough. But Kia styling on Viola? What is that?
No.
He almost got a kill onto Viola though, because this is a full damage last lot, by the way. The top lane is definitely going to be on the focus by the Lord here. Forest Pathway is just for the zone.
Okay, the take charge. Not the take charge, just the Lord going inside the inhibitor and finds the inhibitor for him. Okay, Shuddering Strike. He could grab a free man, but he got to get a lot of damage. And it is Viola clearing him up. Killing spree. Lord inside the base. Can they go for the crystal directly? But there is the last insanity coming up, clearing out the minions. There is the Winter Crown as well. He doesn't have the Firaga armor at this moment. Kia, he comes up there, but inhibitor is still open. The Nexus is open right now from the mid and from the top as well. Toby, another turret got grabbed into his hand. Mega kill secured by Viola onto Kia. The glorious pathway is coming in. It is slowing down there, but look at the take charge. My goodness. The follow-up. Mega for Toby. And now they're just going on to the crystal. Can they pop it up? Course they will. Shutdown happened to Toby, but doesn't matter. It is Zutsu Esports who managed to secure the win, make the match into a tie, and going into the third game, the Heaven's Call, the third game decider. This was needed here. Like the way they dropped it, it was totally onto the hand of Zutsu, and they just won the game as well. Because in the end, you don't have someone who can ditch out the damage, who will be giving the damage. It's just the Lancelot out there, but he's getting taunted by the Grok as well as the Fedrin, and there is the Pobius as well. Three main counters of Lancelot being present in the opposite side, and you are still picking the Lancelot. Even though it is your comfort, I have no worries to say on it, but still, is it a worth it pick? You could have gone something burst. Joy was banned. You could have gone with maybe with a Akai, or not a burst, but utility or whatever, like a Gwynny utility. It could have given you the utility, so to the burst, so to the proper setup. But Lancelot at this phase, I was not liking it.
Apparently, this should have been a very better Lancelot game here, but this time around, I think he was on a full damage too, and the fact that he just, wanted to focus on the Viola was enough to stay there around, but most of the time he got caught with the walls that was coming through onto from Abyss TZ, and that is definitely not going to be a good case scenario for their side too, and now I think this is dragging into the game number 3, but you know what? I want to glaze a bit onto Toby, man. He was 0-3 down. There was always a gank onto him, and they were always focusing onto him too, and the fact that he was still able to heal up from that, get the goal, and just try to get a damage onto Saramon time and again was definitely going to be the star moment here. But talking about the star moment though, MVP for the game, it's definitely going to be a BSTZ onto the Grog with a good stats onto Kia most of the time, I would say. getting a Lancelot with a Grok Swell is definitely gonna be the best, Grok game that he had so far, and the sets were always perfectly on point. Even though he gave out the tech charge most of the time, he was the one who have the better set in comparison to Savage Warrior here, and 88% onto the kill participation says a lot about where this guy has always been, and we can see he was the one solely protecting onto Violet. They were never separated, and that is the game plan that they were trying to go for, and it worked really well for them.
You went for that Sora Valentina combo because you really
Mm-hmm.
don't want to give that Valentina out to them. But then, even though you have multiple ultimates to get into your hand, because there was the appraiser switch, there was the tech charge, you could have gone with the curtain call. And not only that, you can even go with the traction pulse. So, all this crowd
Mm-hmm.
control kind of ultimates could have been yours, but then it was not a game for a Valentina, I'll say. But here we are for the third game. Without any wait, guys, we're inside the third game. The draft is on. A lot of mistakes has been done in the second draft from the side of Noctura. I believe they will not repeat it out again, and somehow they will. If you know, like Debbie, if Serar Moon's
Yeah.
hero pool is kind of like not more in the goal, then you need to give
Mm-hmm.
him up from the very beginning. Like you should give him the first pick, I believe. Like
Mm-hmm.
when the Claude carry, everything is banned. He just got forced out to pick that Xbox. It does well in the early game, I'll say, but then when the CC got the spike, his team got the spike, they got the snowball. You are got doomed. I mean, you're coming in, but you don't have
Mm-hmm.
the Fedaka armor. It's just getting out easily by CC.
That's what they have to focus a bit onto, and I feel like it's very understandable that the ban is still gonna be very very same for both of the sides here. Of course, they have to bend away Radent, Baxia, and Toby's Freya all the time onto the blues. Onto the red side, though, Zutsu, they have banned away the Grog as well as the Zushin. So they're still not banning away that Lancelot just yet because they don't really want to. They are really ready to deal it with too, and I understand it's very, very good for their side now. So Hilda ban. Still, there's no change into the banner, so we might even see the Yuzhong ban here for Zutsu, right? They usually ban the Yuzhong, right, against Simon.
Yeah, they banned the Yuzong in the third pick so that they can go for the Ishinshin or something like that. But this time, okay, then
Oh, nice, nice, nice.
okay, they really want to counter.
Yeah.
Corner Serar Moon. They just got that news that he have a lesser hero pool. He cannot go with other heroes. And in the
Mm-hmm.
MM section, if you will see, like it is just the Claude and the carry, as you said, and the Granger is a
Yep.
situational kind of hero. And moreover,
Mm-hmm.
that you can go with the Harith. But in the second phase, they banned the Harith in the second last game. So in this game, if
Yep.
they're preparing something for like that, they can easily do it. But Serar, he can go with the Ishinshin goal. So this is a flex.
Assassin Goal is a flex, but onto the hands of Natura, I'm pretty sure that both of them can play the Yi Sun Xun. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is the power of a jungler into the goal later. Yes, there we go. So now for the side of Jutsu, they can play the Sora, but against a Yi Sun Xun, you know what? Just pick the Yuzong Gatot, man. I'm just kidding. They cannot really do that. They can just deny onto the Kalea. That is also a. Oh, they did. Look at
Ooh.
that. Kalea Yuzong. Nice.
That's a quick one because Abastezi loves to play that Kalea, and you left the Yuzong, so it is
Mm-hmm.
gonna gone into the hand of none other than Zetat. But if the Ishenshin is going to the goal, Debbie, then
Yep.
it might be a Toby Yuzong. Like, and he gonna have a winning lane, easy winning lane, and he literally gives that team fight participation. So
No. No.
okay, no, it's not gonna be a gold Yuzong. It's gonna be a gold carry with in the hand of
Ah.
Toby. That guy is so insane with the carry, and
Yep.
this game is literally. I mean, if I'll say in the first phase, kind of jutsu. I'm smelling.
This is a very great combination already, as because Kalea carried together in one place and they took the Yuzong already too. And now the only problem that they have to deal with is if Noctura pick up the Versa, right? But they pick out the Z10 here. So Jutsu, they are still safe to pick anything that they want right now. They can go for a double onto the combination with the Kalea here. They can go for the Lunox too. That's not gonna be bad either. for Zutsu though, they have to ban away the Gaton and the Hylos together because they have the Kalea already onto the side of Noctura Esports. They are banning away the Aegis and the Fredrin. They are just trying to remove away the hero pool for Raden. You know what? This guy have a pocket pick, right? He can play the Hayabusa very well. So if he pick it up also, it's definitely gonna be an okayish pick. But then again, the Guinevere is also available.
Yeah, leave the Haya, leave the Guinea, leave the Fed and everything. He can go with the Edith jungle. So I never doubt that
Edit
guy.
ban, no. They banned the edits because of that.
That was a quick one, but okay, he can go with the Guinea. Told you. This is the thing.
That's
Like he
what.
got lots of utility. Even he can go with Xbox. Like somehow out of the thing, out of the box, he can go with Xbox. But now he got the Guinea there. So Debbie, last day only we saw what a team does with the carry and a Lunox pick. He just break
Mhm.
the streak. So now the
That's what.
Lunox is open. Toby got the carry. Violet knows how to play the Lunox. If the Lunox is coming into the hand of Team Jutsu, no doubt, eyes closed, I'll say it's Jutsu's draft. Because obviously you got the
Mhm.
late, you got the early, you got the sustain. You just need to stay out for that first 10 minutes and then boom, you're on to the game. You can easily take out the lot, you can easily take on them, take on the fights. This last two picks gonna literally reflect a lot of things like is Serrar onto that Ishenshin against a carry or he's going for a Hareth gold. He's not going for a Hareth gold. He's going for that Ishenshin gold with the higher percent in the hand of Kia. And there you go. It's a coming of the Kaza. How you gonna explain me the
I
comp? I'm not gonna,
I
I
was,
don't know
you
what the
know,
comp is.
yeah, there we go. That's gonna be the Linux. We were talking about the Linux Zutsu Esports, and I kind of predicted. I kind of know that the Noctura for the side of Noctura, they will be picking away the Kaza here because whenever you see a Uranus, you always need something like a pick off. The Cho didn't work into the hands of Madara. The Kaza was the second best option that they could go for here. The Kalea already gone, so this is gonna be the decider of whether who have the better range, who have the better response timer, who have the better reflex here, and that is definitely going to be giving out a lot of momentum to that team here. But Kia is onto his Hayabusa again. That is one of his comfort pick too, and against a hero like the carry, you want to go for an assassin here, and they are doing their job very very well. But into the laning phase though, Serarmon, this is what we see the potential in, right? The advantage of being a jungler and going in directly into the goal lane. He is able to play out the Yi into the goal here against the carry. So he eventually have to be very careful into the early stages of the game, but he can get the farm in. The combination can be coming through with the Kaza together here at one point of a time. But then again, the Yuzong is definitely going to be the main problem here for the side of Noctura Esports. Now they have to be very, very mindful of the Black Dragon. Zeta, I've never seen him onto the hero like the Yuzong, but I hope it really works well here.
That's the thing I was, thinking right now because you are onto a Ishan Shin, but in a laning phase, are you gonna actually take out that carry? Even though she is having a short range, but it is into the head of Toby, the master on carry. So let's see.
Mhm.
Third game decider, a Heaven's Call, a do or die set for both, a match point set for both. Team wins will stay in the upper bracket, and the loser will go to the lower bracket to fight out some demons. Yesterday only, as I told, we saw that carry and Lunox getting into a
Yep.
team's hand, and then the streak got broken. But now it is in the hand of Jutsu Esports. They need the win. Early game aggression being shown by the Noctura side. And you're gonna see the sustain, you're gonna see the pace off game from Jutsu because they really need that mid to late into their hand.
That's what they're going to be playing for here for the side of Zutsu now. They, the way they were actually focusing onto the XP lane into the previous game shouldn't be happening right now because they should be focusing onto the goal lane right there. It doesn't really necessarily mean that they will have to always go gank upon the goal lane and try to get a kill or two onto Saramon here. No, they should just try to go for the peeling here. They just can play, give out the vision here and there, and let the carry not die. As long as Toby stays alive, it's definitely going to be a good call for the side of Jutsu Esports, and they can drag the game as long as possible, as fast as possible too, and they can really, really work it out. And the only work that can happen into the hands of a BestTZ is that if he doesn't really send Kia onto the gold lane side, which he should always give vision upon. But rather on the other hand, I'm pretty sure he's on mobile data. He's onto the Guinevere, so I think they got a steal onto the buff. I think so. No, he's
Yeah.
level 4 already.
Now we got the level 4 mark, but now the turtle side. I have some gonna contest it out, but there is the Yuzong as well. So this is the main thing. Like, got the level 4. No, Zetet is still on the level 3. He needs the level 4 though before the turtle. And I believe Jutsu not gonna start the turtle without Zetet's level 4. They're kind of giving that turtle dance there. And we're gonna see the quad shadow coming in. It just got connected. A lot of damage being done from the side of Madara as well with that ring. But there you go. The Yuzong with the Black Dragon form comes up for the zone out and going for the first blood. But what just happened? The first blood being taken by Serrar onto the top side. Off cap kill comes in. Let's see, we'll have the retribution. Rain with the turtle. He grabbed the turtle there, and now the Wii Shadow kill comes up. Rarin falls down. Beautiful trade coming out from the side of Noctura, but there is go. Zetat with the damage. Grab up the kill, the consolation, the revenge. Instant one comes out from the side of Team Jitsu, but there is the damage coming out from Savage Warrior. Put the kill on to Avesthesia at this moment. Just happened. Why he's recalling there? Did he got a kill or what? No. Okay,
Not
Toby
really.
anticipating like Serrar is there, but he's not there.
No, the fact that Toby gets solo into the top lane when he was just busy being a menace, being freezing onto the lane was definitely not something I really want to see here. But onto the other side, though, he's still gonna be able to get out of farm here. Madara, though, trying to jump out onto the top lane here. He wouldn't really necessarily go for the fight here. He's just trying to give out a little bit of reason here and there. So at BSTD, they have to be very careful. Rarin is also onto the mid lane side. If they wanna engage onto the Kaza here, they definitely should.
Okay, that's the slams. Comes up with a tsunami slam as well. Violet Trickum combo. My goodness, that was that was a 3-game ultimate on to make Madara out from the game, and the final blow goes into the hand of Viole. But out of the top side, 1v1 situation for both the goal laners, and there you go with the Mountain Shocker. He just come back. It's like Toby is playing very safely, I will say.
As a carry, you can stay into the lane as long as possible, fight into the lane too, and you don't really have to go out of that, because whenever you have the Trinity already, it's already a done deal for the carry. The carry comes much early online in comparison to a hero like the Cloud, so he's definitely gonna be able to play it safer. And this time around, Jutsu, they're just not making fight for the gold lane here. They're just trying to set up for the turtle, but top lane, that is gonna be a bit of a damage coming through from Kia. He's gonna be taken down very low, but this should be a turtle onto the hands of Jutsu if they are able to set up for it, because at BSTZ he still have the tsunami slam. He can try to go for it, and Kia, I think he decides to give away the turtle too.
No, it was more like Kia was on Toby's skill, but Toby literally went back so fast. But that was a good choice. And now the Black Dragon. Why is this Black Dragon used? It's not needed.
He just
Total easy one. But on the top side, they're taking out the gold. They're taking out the turret from the hand of Toby. And I really want to say that Jutsu needs to rotate onto the top a little bit, because Serrar is getting the farm.
That's what I was talking about, man. They have to focus a bit onto the gold lane too. But this time around, it's definitely going to be okay, because the gold plating is already taken down, so they can change out onto the lane here and to the mid side.
Okay, the fight comes up with that. The Fury of Phoenix being used. Sliver of HP for Ab is easy, but he somehow managed to go back. Not a single casualties got into the hand of Noctura though, but still, the score is paying. But the macro lead is into the hand of Jutsu. If you're going to count the structure, it is Noctura having the lead there.
Noctura have the lead here. They have the goal lead too. 2k goal lead is what they have right now, and there's gonna be a good time for them to trade down to the lane here. And I feel like Kia also understood the assignment, because he's gonna be going down to the bottom lane with the ultimate here. He's still able to do it out mid lane. Oh.
Okay, another fight just got version, and there you go. The special migration. Will he go for the Valedictum? No, he somehow stopped himself from casting it out, and that was a good choice. Like you cannot get the follow up from your team. Already 2 members down, so you actually cannot go for that set. But now look at Serarmon. He's doing the work. He's taking out the structure for himself. And Toby, he can't come up for the savior. So 2 down onto the macro. Let's see if the structure... It's like the recap of the last game. Jutsu managed to take out the structure. Noctura getting the macro... Noctura getting the objectives. But then in the late game, it was the lane domination from Jutsu Esports onto the Noctura.
Yeah, again and again they has been trying to do that here. So this time around, I feel like it would have been better for ABSTG to stay with Toby rather than the Viole, because it's still gonna be worth it if the carry is getting out of farms here. But this time around, they lose it onto the top and the bottom lane already here. The turtle is definitely gonna be a good start right now. Stun.
Black Dragon, Mountain Shocker, Madara just got zoned out and falls down in the hand of Zetet. And there you go, double for Zetet. Simon will be the one getting deleted down from the land of dawn. He's still going for the dive and comp. Can he go for the fight? No. You look at that. Serrar and the co will just disengage themselves from the team fight, and another easy turtle for Zutsu Esports. There is the Turtle Slayer mark for Rarin here. They got all those objectives into their hand, but now, if you're going to talk about the turrets, Toby slightly getting the spike,
Finally.
man. Yep.
Finally, it's been focused on by the team right now, and BCG able to give out the zone as well. He's gonna be able to recall out too. He's just giving out a vision. I mean, he's just giving out a misery where he is still onto that boost, and they're just trying to give out a vision. I mean, hallucination for next round. Now, mid lane is what they want to focus on. Both of the boosts been secured by both of the teams here right there, but Simon will be able to spot it out. But Retribution, though.
Not a shocker, him combo, but he got to reason him out, and there you go. There's the fight coming up as well. Uranus is engaging at this point, but the brilliance comes up. Mega kill onto Rarin. It is Sarar Moon onto that Ishin Chin. Can he go for a double? No. Simon falls down with a burst coming out from Viole. There you go. The fight still continues. Madara with the ring, but he just goes back as well. But into the mid side, and they defended out. I don't believe it, because the Black Dragon is emerging for the zoning out, and with this, the Meteor 1 just got down, and it is the lane expansion. Bigger trade for Zutsu.
Yeah, bigger trade for Zutsu, much better than it was 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago. Madara again being taken down very early is definitely serving right for the side of Zutsu. Now there's no way that they will be able to take anyone down here, but onto the other side of the top lane is onto the focus by Toby again, 2 turrets down onto his belt. But look at the build so far for Kia. Now he got the War Axe as well as the Hunter Strike, but he's unable to find any kill onto the carry here. Toby should be his focus here right now, and I mean, even though they were finding out the objective, they are unable to find out the kills that they want when you play a Hayabusa here. So I hope he's still onto the damages here. But second build, I mean, actually, the priority build onto the Yishin here is the endless battle, and he's still skipping onto the Hunter Strike as well. But I don't think he will be having that much of a damage. But the Lord is going to be up here right now. Looking at the position of Madara so far, they want to try to go for a pick off. I don't think anyone will go there though.
He really have that flicker and divine judgment combo, but have never seen onto Viole yet from him. So really needs to wait to see that. If they can take out Viole here, they might gonna take up the game. They take up the fight as well, because look at this. Like, it's Viole onto the burst, and if you're taking one of them out, Viole or Toby, because Toby currently doesn't have that much damage, so you need to take out. But Tsunami Slam, it got cancelled. Fury of Phoenix coming in. Lot of damage from Serrar Moon. He got the unstoppable onto FSTZ. The Black Dragon emerges. Dive in out comes up. Mega kill secured. And now Toby goes in. Madara got deleted. And double kill for Zetat. There you go. Shut down on a double for Toby. Serrar Moon, he will be getting down. He will be getting slain. He will be getting terminated by Toby there. At last, he took the revenge, but there was no special migration with the skill one. It is Rarin making a wipeout onto Noctura. Freelord for Team Zutsu. And not only that, they will be grabbing up the tier 2 onto the mid. This is one of the biggest trade they are doing. And now if they will end up making that Holy Shield out, then it will be easy push into with the Lord. But they couldn't do that.
Yeah, there was a close call here. Noctura, they were perfectly on time, just trying to defend onto the mid lane side here, but the Lord is already taken away by Zutsu Esports. Now they are looking so good. Toby finally getting the farm that is required here. He's got the Trinity already. He's still onto the build for the Malefic gun too, so he's gonna have to wait a little bit for that. But bottom lane though, it might be secured by Zeta. He's gonna be definitely alone, but Kia, I don't think he's able to kill onto the Yuzong there. Yeah, definitely unable to. But what shut down onto the hands of a carry is definitely going to be a good comeback for the side of Zutsu right now. The Lord will be marching onto the mid lane side here. The Holy Blessing still there. It's going to be popped onto the top lane side with just 1 minion, and they can focus onto the bottom lane too.
Okay, with this zone, it's a Mounted Shocker. Fury of Phoenix coming out as well. There is the zone out from Black Dragon, killing spree onto the hand of Toby. He managed to delete down Madara there. Inhibitor falling down. It will be the Nexus opening for the side of Zutsu Esports. There is a shutdown onto Zetat though. And now the defense coming in, but onto the top side, it is Zutsu Esports taking out the Inhibitor. The Oogie Shadow Kill comes in, the Winter Crown combo. I mean, popped up right Rarin there though. That was a hefty damage coming in. And Uranus, look at that damage, true damage from carry. Just managed to give that Uranus a little bit, you can say, heart attack.
Yeah, that was
Just
close.
return back into the safer zone. But I'll say like it's okay. It's just the first lot though, and you just
Yeah.
managed to take out the inhibitors, and now everything got changed into the hand of Jutsu. They're literally dominating right now.
I would like to say that it's just because of the presence of the disciplines coming through from the side of Jutsu that they were able to take two inhibitors down and one outer turrets too. It usually don't happen when you take out this first lot. But mid lane is done.
Morning Shocker, Aren falls down, Fury of Phoenix coming in, Black Dragon emerges, Sliver of Vision perhaps easy, but he's still surviving. Saramun goes down with the Viole, entering with the Brilliance. Madara falls down, slain on to Simon. This
Oh,
is a 4-3-man down from the side of Noctura, and it's just the Zintian and Hayabusa Kia. He just got petrified, but oh my goodness, the Quad Shadow comes, but now he's going inside the back line. The Tsunami Slam comes up, they're locking down the base, and with this, Team Zutsu Esports are the winner of this BO3 series, claiming their spot in the upper bracket. They're going forward and knocking out Noctura Esports towards that Hell's Call that is the lower bracket, because demons are waiting to get the avenge on you. There are so many demons, but this was a real game coming out from Jutsu. They lost the first one. It was the MVP for Serrar. Then in the next two games, they did not give Serrar his comfort. They did not give the goal laner a chance to make his comeback. And with this, you can see the results, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner, Jutsu Esports, a 2-1 river sweep against the Noctura to claim the throne.
Please give MVP to Toby, man. That was not really a good start of the game for the carry, but he was able to pull everything on and off, and now he was able to come back to it with so much energy, so much damage that he have onto the carry. Now he was 2 deaths down, but he doesn't really care. He have the Trinity already built up, and the Beasties doing a really, really good job in trying to go for the peel onto the early stages and not going for the aggression, and that kind of finds them a lot of spacing for their side too. And when they had the damage already, the Tsunami Slam, whenever he gets someone, it's already a done deal because he have a combo together with a Lunox and a carry too. And the fact that Ryan was still able to go for the sets most of the time onto a Guinevere was doing so much for the team too. That is just creating a lot of spacing for them as well. And I feel like this time around Zitat also did a really, really good job onto the dragon as well, because the timing of his dragon, right, of the black dragons were always on point. He either use it to zone away people or get some inhibitors, get some turrets there again, and he was the one usually going in for the initiation. But hey, it's gonna be the MVP for the game. It's gonna be Viole, not Toby. Huh?
Yeah, I was
Unfair.
expecting Zed. For real, I was expecting Zed to get that MVP, but it's fine. It's more like the killing machine of Team Jutsu Esports. 4-1-10. Even I mean, obviously Viole. He was just down for single time, and you know, like why Toby doesn't get the MVP is because Serrano was literally targeting him from the very beginning of the game, and he might be
Oh yeah, true.
scolding right now his teammates like. If you guys would have been there in the early phase, I could have completed the game in just 10 minutes, man. But it's fine. A win is a
It's
win,
fine.
and you are
Uh-huh.
still on to the upper bracket. But Noctura, I'm feeling sad for those guys. They literally played so well, but in the second game, the draft got
Mm.
literally hecked up, and then the third one, they went for a good draft, but that Ishenshin Hayabusa in this meta not so good,
Ah,
and the Ishenshin goal it is also a situational thing because you need to get the spike, but Terrar, he does so well in that goal. Ishenshin, I'll say, like he was grabbing up the kills, but the main thing was, as you always say this thing, you need to go for
uh,
the damage dealer. You need to take out the damage dealer, but nobody was there to go into the back line to take out Toby or
yep,
Viole in a team fight. You were taking
yep.
Toby in a solo version, but when the team fights are approaching, you're taking down Madara. You're wasting your ultimate, your resources onto Zed, but it is Toby and Viole who are just taking the
Mhm.
kill. And guys, that was the day. That was the day. In the first game, it was a river sweep, Team EVT. Second game, it was a river sweep as well. It is Team Jutsu. And Debbie, now it's time
Definitely.
for us to go. Yeah.
Yep. Let's just
So with
end it
this,
on today, man. We have only two
yeah.
games, but unfortunate. But I think it's time we go eat our dinners, right?
Yeah, it's time for us to take our leave, guys. And tomorrow, same time, we'll be coming back for the lower brackets, the Hells Division. I named it the Hells Division
because there are the demons, monsters out there in the lower bracket. So what will be happening tomorrow will be known tomorrow. For that, you need to subscribe our channel so that you will get all the notification of our live streaming. Like our stream, share our stream to your friends. Let them know that Jutsu Gaming is cooking a 1 lakh big prize pool tournament. That is Indian Championship Series, powered by Vista Games and in our sponsor, tech partner, that is AOC. Let's see you tomorrow, guys. With this, it's your boy Ash TZ with Debbie signing out from Jutsu Gaming Indian Championship Series. We'll be seeing you tomorrow with some fresh games, with some them destroying teams coming up in the lower bracket. And till then, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Love you all, everybody. Good night, everyone. Sabak here.